Oh, I cannot wait. I
We
cannot
got more comments.
fucking wait.
More coming in as we speak.
Oh, it's gonna be a good.
t-
It's
23 seconds ago. This isn't a problem at all. Well,
let me explain. You better hope that you can be a fucking villain like me. I'm just saying. I can't wait. Can't wait. Welcome in, everybody. Woo! It's episode 127 of the Pre-Patch Podcast, and tonight is a night. I am fueled up on gummy bears. I'm not kidding, man. Look,
gummy bears.
5-pound bag of gummy bears, bruh.
Yeah, I've been eating on them red, white, and blue Sour
No,
Patch
okay.
Kids recently.
It
So I'm right
Explain
there
some
with
things.
2.5 pounds of gummy bears, but it's still gummy bears. But yeah, man, gummy bears and dumbass comments on the internet. I love them, and it's just gonna be
Your
good.
comment was the dumbass comment on the internet.
No. Just because the internet says so doesn't mean I'm wrong. Just saying. I can't wait. Welcome, everybody.
Listen, Sid, if one person says you're wrong, that's their opinion. If 1,800 people say you're wrong, it's probably something too.
Hey, man, I can't help that people are stupid. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm just saying. It's all right. We're gonna get to it. Don't you worry. Don't you worry.
It's 76, but well, 75 because two people
Whatever.
didn't not agree with you.
Hey, see?
They
There's
didn't
other
agree
people
with
out
him, though.
there. I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong. Welcome in, everybody. It is the Pre-Patch Podcast, and it is episode 127. And if you can't tell already, it's going to be a great show. A lot of energy. We are not fully staffed yet. We have Bill comes back. I'm starting to think that Bill and Scruffy are the same fucking person because we can't get them both on the same show at the same time.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, but
that was my thing, bro. Not
Yeah.
yours,
Look,
mine.
You had to go and use the face cam now, and I mean, I could still be
mean,
you,
this-
and you could still be me,
This
and
could
all
just
be
be an
really
advanced
elaborate
AI, bro. Yeah.
No, that AI would break, sir. I got so loud about the Elden Ring stuff. They shut my door. My family shut my door. Oh man. Well, yeah. So welcome in. If this is your first time here, you picked a hell of a one to join. But yeah, there's 126 other episodes you can go and watch. I would definitely at least recommend going and watching at least the last video that says that Elden Ring is gatekeeping, because that is the smartest video on the fucking internet right
it's not.
now. And yeah. But yeah, welcome in. We're doing this live, as always, right here on YouTube and Twitch. What's going on to all of our viewers that are here with us live? If you're not here with us live and you catch us later, if you got to leave in the middle of the show, make sure you go to any of your podcasting apps and hit the like button or the follow button or the bell or whatever it is, and you can listen to the show afterward. Or you can go to our Discord and hit us up there, or any of our channels that we are on. But yeah, man. Whew. So there's going to be part of this show. I'm just going to say that Enigma is going to try to make me eat crow. He's going to try his hardest. He's going to fail.
I'm not going to try. It's going to succeed
fail.
100%.
He's going to fail miserably. But it's okay. It is quite okay. He has no proof of some of the stuff that he is going to try to do. And then the other side of it is going to be me versus the internet. Because the internet
1 minute ago, new comment.
You're gonna hear that quite a bit. The internet is filled with dumb people. And sometimes it just takes the right person. I'm just saying, Thanos was not wrong. I'm not wrong, bro. I'm just saying, like, there's a reason I like anti-heroes. So in any case, how you guys doing?
I don't know if equating yourself to somebody that got rid of half of the population of the universe is probably the best way to go.
At least in the MCU, his reasoning for doing it was not wrong. So we're not going to talk about the comic book version. The comic book version, he was a complete and utter ass. It just wanted to, make death happen.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, all right.
Yeah.
How are you guys doing? How's your
Mommy
Thursday?
death.
How's
too bad.
How's your Thursdays guys going?
It's going
Bill's-
actually really well. I'm off today. I'm actually able to join the podcast. That makes my week infinitely better.
Nice.
Bill's probably waiting on Elden Ring DLC because he found out that it came out early,
Yeah,
Yes.
it's out. I got things I need to do, but I will get to it hopefully tomorrow.
You know what though? I'm just gonna go ahead and also say it too to all of the people that are just feeding me the energy I need from all these comments and stuff like that. I have a copy of it literally sitting in my fucking Steam right now, and I got it for free, and I'm not gonna play it because I didn't beat the optional boss.
You didn't beat any of the optional bosses.
Nope, not Milena, the optional boss, because the internet wanted to point out that I was wrong there. Sure, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I'm not playing it. I'm not playing it. Anyway,
you will eventually, maybe.
Yeah, no. No, it's gonna be a good show. We got a lot to talk about. Hopefully, you guys, everybody's weekend went amazing. We are wishing Scruffy the best sleep that he's ever gotten. So everybody say good night, Scruffy. Can we all get a good night, Scruffy, in chat?
Good night, Scruffy. I know how that goes, man.
Yep. But yeah, it's gonna be a good show. So let's dive right on into it. And actually, I am not the only one that has played a new game. Enigma has also played Fallen Aces. So
yeah, not really. I mean, it is a new game.
What do you mean, not really?
I mean, I'm just saying we covered it last week, so I mean, it is a new game. It's a brand new game, but we did cover it. I just there's more stuff to talk about now that it released. So
right.
But yeah, this is, if you guys remember last week, really good demo. This is one of the ones that came out, I believe, on the PC Game Showcase, if I'm not mistaken. It might have been one of the other ones. I can't remember. They all kind of got, jumbled together with which one is which, but released last week on Thursday or Friday, one of the two. It's Friday, because we covered it and it wasn't released. So episode 1 released, really, again, great, amazing fucking game. Art style, great, love it, perfect, love it, amazing. New gameplay that I saw was actually really enjoyable. I was under the assumption that it was all going to be like just beat 'em up, like you're going in there and just fucking shit up with your fists and everything like that, just like pipes and everything. But there's actual like sniper rifles and stealth action sequences. Like you can. I thought it was a very like one-dimensional game of like you're just going in there, you're kicking ass, you're taking names, and that's that, right? But this game is not that. You can play it stealthily, you can play it balls to the walls, kill everybody. You can play it in a way of like pacifist, where you're just knocking people out, stuff like that. So it's got a lot more depth than I actually gave it credit for last week, I think, which was why I wanted to bring it up again to this week. Granted, everything that I said last week still kind of holds true. Nothing really changed in my opinion on the game. If anything, it's just gotten better. I think that honestly, if you can't, if this is the kind of thing, like if these are the kind of graphics and everything like that you're enjoying, and if you're enjoying these types of games and this gameplay, right, I think this game will be freaking amazing. It's $10, I think, like 10 $15 somewhere around there.
It's $12.99 normally.
I think it's a great, like a great
available?
deal. I don't know if the demo is still available.
Let me take a look.
I can check really quickly.
Because that would be a good way to kind of get a gauge on if you would like the game.
The demo is still available.
No,
wonderful.
I don't see it on here.
I see it.
Fallen Aces. Oh yeah, okay. That's it. You have to look at. It's not on.
Yeah, it's
not on their website. It's not on their main
yeah.
Steam page. You got to go to somewhere else to get it. I don't. It's kind of weird.
That's still cool. When I was editing the video that we put out for this earlier in the week, actually earlier today, it honestly gave me like almost Dishonored vibes, just from like the perspective of how like
honestly,
you're kind of crouching. Yeah. Like it honestly has that like a retro Dishonored feel to it. Maybe not like with I'm assuming this is all grounded in like pure reality. There's no magic, no like nothing like that.
Yeah, okay. there's no magic. You're just a dude that, like, the introductory for it, I don't think I'm going to spoil anything. It's the same introductory that was in the demo. You're just a dude that answered his phone, and some creepy dude was like, "Hey, there's people coming to kill you. You might want to get out of your house." And from that point forward, it's just like a John Wick style. Like you're just trying to figure out why these people are trying to kill you, and you go through that. I will say, the first villain that you meet, which was that guy that we saw there in that introductory sequence, fucking badass, dude. He's got like this hand that's like a can opener or some shit. It looked like it had scissors on it, but like his entire face from like this point down is all like metal. Like his teeth are metal, his jaw is metal, and he bites some dude's fucking finger.
Oh,
that's really cool.
A very kid-friendly.
It looks right up my alley. This might be one I would actually pick up here once I'm done with what I
mean, again, like, and again, like I said, we're not going to cover too much time on it because we literally did a video on it last week. I just wanted to reiterate, it's only $10. Like if you're gonna try it, maybe like you said, maybe try out the demo to see if it's something that you like. But like $10 for what you get is actually pretty decent in my eyes, because like I finished the first level and I think I spent like 30 to 45 minutes on the first level if I remember correctly. I only got 2 of 7 like secrets found. So like each level has a set number of secrets, and you get rated for how quickly basically and how many of those secrets you actually find at the end. It's not like you don't do badly. It's not like you can't go forward with the story if you don't do well, but it kind of gives you a like a progression essentially. Like if you want to 100% it, you could do that. You could find like all the secret doors, the secret treasures, everything like that. And the secrets are actually really well hidden. Like there was one, the one that I did find required me to go find a key for the room 204, which was a room inside the first building that you're in, right? You have to find the key, you have to go into the dude's room, rummage around his apartment, you find a piece of paper on the desk that basically says, hey, I had to change the lock combination for the for the safe. There's a hint. I left a hint in today's paper. It's it's circled. It's the scores for today's I was the races, horse races, right? So then I had to go and find a paper, which I was like, dude, I swear I found like 8 papers. I don't know what the hell this dude's talking about. You have to go and find a specific paper at the newspaper, like the little newspaper area outside of your first area, right? And there you'll find that specific newspaper to have that, and then you can go back and you open the safe and you've got like a bunch of gold and everything like that. So it does a really good job with like hiding secrets. I know that there was one other safe in my main like apartment that I didn't get, and I think that that one is on like a piece of paper someplace just floating around. I don't know exactly where it's at, but
ask you a question. Is it so? One of the things that in here I saw was like you took a barrel and like you went and had it propped up against a wall to like try to jump into another.
Yep.
It seemed like there was a little bit of difficulty because like because obviously it's in a 2D 3D world.
There was, and I don't know if that was my depth perception fucking with me, or if that was like the actual game kind of slipping around, because it is a 2D, like you were saying, it is a 2D in a 3D world, like a 2D portion, like or like a 2D entity in a 3D world, right? But it could have just been that that barrel was particularly not cooperative with me. But yeah, there was a little bit of difficulty with that for sure.
I just didn't know if that's like if you've seen that a couple times or whatever, because I could see that where that could
not really. That was the first time that I really had to like come up with a way to get in there that wasn't already there. So most of the time when I came across something like that, they already had like boxes in there, or they had boxes close enough that I could like jump over to it and everything like that. So like the secret, like the puzzle solving and everything like that, I'm pretty sure there was probably better ways that I could have gotten around that, right?
Oh no, I mean
there was probably a crate that I could have done that would have been a little bit easier.
Watching you with like, I'm like this, there's oil on the ground, just throw your fucking lighter on the ground. Like I don't know if
you
that would have done anything, but
you can. If there's oil on the ground, there's explosive barrels that you can get that you can throw, and it'll start the oil on fire and everything like that. There's Molotov cocktails later on. I think I throw a Molotov cocktail at some dudes that has like an explosive barrel next to it, and it explodes that as well. There like the puzzle solving is actually really good. I was actually really impressed with what just happened, just barely. And if you guys aren't watching this, I threw a stapler that was just laying on the desk. There was like this little reception area, and it had a window that was open in the reception area, right? And I was like, I wonder if I can hit that button with something, because like I can see the button. There's no way to get past it. I was like, there's either another way, like I need to get on top of the roof and get down there, or can I throw something at it? So I was just like, fuck it, it's a Hail Mary. And so I just lobbed that at it, Yeah, 100%. Like you lob something at a button, it activates the button, the door opened. And I was like, that's dope. I was
I love it.
Cool.
I love how in this you just threw a fucking ashtray like dumpster or canister at the fucking guy, and he's kind of like, oh, where that came from? It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Dude? Video game logic. Just gotta love it. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah,
bro.
it's pretty cool though.
I was looking up stuff on the Steam page. Apparently, this is episode 1, and there's going to be 3 episodes total for it.
Yeah.
And the initial purchase, gets you all 3 of those episodes.
That's
which is
that's
really
dope. I didn't know that. That's cool. I was under the assumption that I was probably going to have to pay like a couple bucks for new episodes, but
they said that the price of the full game is going to go up with each subsequent episode. So if you buy in now, if you buy in now, you get it at the cheapest. It can be. They're also going to be doing a level editor here.
Oh, I did hear about that. Yeah, I did hear about that.
That's fucking cool too, and that all comes with the initial purchase. So a lot of content potentially with this game,
man. And it's such a simple game. I'll let you continue, but I was just like piggybacking off that. It's such a simple game that like if they can do that, like people can make their own episodes with like that level editor. I think like that would be the ultimate when it comes down to like modding the game and everything like that. Like if when we've said it a bunch of different times, right? The only reason why Skyrim is so successful is because of mods. Is because of or those games in general are so successful is because of mods. Is because of user created content. So like having that ability is huge in my opinion. So go ahead, Sen. Sorry.
Shocker here. Give me a PvP mode in this.
Give me a PvP mode, bro.
I think it'd be awesome, dude. Like a
not
PvP
get the fuck out.
And these levels, like, why not? I think like I don't know if you guys ever played 13. Dude, 13 had PvP and it was in this art style and it was great. Like it was a really cool experience.
There was a really cool little thing that I on this level specifically. There's a you get these little like modules, and inside of this specific level you have the dude that basically warns you about them coming to kill you. He's kind of offering like Overwatch on top of you. He's got a sniper rifle, right? And he only has a set amount of bullets. But like in this specific level, there's snipers scattered around the level, right? And if you peek yourself out, I think you would have seen it earlier. They kind of lock onto you if you're close enough to them and start shooting at you, right? You can use that gadget, which is him with the sniper rifle, mark the people that you want to kill, essentially. So like I use that on the snipers, and he'll just, as long as he has visual on him, he'll just take him out. So it's kind of cool. Like there's certain aspects of the game that you really have to put your mind, you kind of have to use your brain a little bit and be like, okay, do I use this guy, or can I get up like right now, like can I get up to that sniper easily without him seeing me and take him out myself, rather than having to use the gadget or whatever they called it, right? So it's, I mean, for $10, it's a no-brainer. Yeah, like it's a no-brainer.
And there's going to be more coming for it. So
exactly. The sniper rifle right here, I was really impressed with like their actual like first-person shooter, because they do have like pistols and everything, but like the pistols are inaccurate as shit unless you like stop and like let your reticle get smaller, right? But like I was really impressed with the sniper rifle, how accurate it was.
I completely agree with somebody in chat that just said Celia was like, yo, we need to have a PPP bingo cards, because it's Bill talking about physical media, me talking about PvP. I don't know, we can figure out something else.
Me saying 100%
yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's a good idea.
That'd be a good drinking game, actually. You guys
would be fucking shit-faced. Oh my god, you'd be shit-faced. Okay. Let's Fallen Aces. You can get it right now for $10 on Steam.
The demo will be going away, by the way. Once,
okay,
yeah, they're gonna be taking it away.
Yep. All right. Well, we talked about this on last week's show, and I, about the DLC and like season pass and stuff like that. Well, off of the back of that, I was like, all right, you know what? Let me just go check and see kind of what's going on, with, Skull and Bones, and I found it on sale on Ubisoft's website. I don't care if it's on sale because the game is doing poorly. It was for like $20, and I was like, you know what? I can get $20 worth of fun out of Skull and Bone. And so I picked up Skull and Bone and actually played it. And you gonna say something, Bill?
No, I'm just looking in disappointment.
It was $20. It's not 70. What did you? I mean, I can say that
quadruple A video game.
Spend $20.
Quadruple A video game down to $20 on off the actual developer's site.
Oh wait,
In
I actually
what, 2
already
months?
own this
3
game
months?
in the form of Kingdom Hearts 3's Port Royal level.
Oh yeah. Well, again, Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Look, I'm not gonna say anything crazy like, oh my god, the game is amazing, it's perfect, whatever. But I'm just saying, like, for $20, I
Is
don't
it worth
like,
$20?
Yeah,
Are you really?
yeah. No, I think it's worth. I mean, $20, dude. Like, there's enough content here for $20 fucking. Like, Jesus
Out
Christ.
of all the games that we've talked about that like we've belittled for not be, I find it hard to believe, especially with how hard we were on it initially.
I mean, I'm not initially. Yes, for $70, absolutely not. There's no shot that I would have spent $70 on this game, right? For 20, sure, all day long. Like, and
Did they
again,
at least fix the issues you had with it initially? Like, is the PvP like functioning now?
So before you couldn't flag on PvP, you were just, you had to go into a zone to be at PvP. Now you flag on PvP. So you can, like, and if you look at the bottom left hand of my screen, where over the 3, like my health bar, you'll see that there's a little like red icon. That means that I am flagged for PvP. And obviously, knowing me, I stay permanently flagged. Like, I don't, I never unflag or anything like that. And was actually, there's been quite a few people that I have come across that are always flagged. And they show up on the map. Anybody that's flagged shows up on the map as red. I don't necessarily like that, but at the same time, I don't necessarily not like that, because it's like, cool,
if you run the PvP, here's the people that
I can go find
PvP.
them. Yeah. And I'll say that the world, as much of as a multiplayer person as I am, I definitely am, enjoying the game quite a bit without the multiplayer aspect of it, because there are so many just ships, kind of NPC ships kind of going around, floating around, stuff like that. Like, I would rather play this than I would play Sea of Thieves, if I had to choose between the two.
Wow.
Just because, I mean, but because again, for me, like, Sea of Thieves, like, this has like a progression system, in the sense of like, cool, like, I'm gonna get a bigger boat, I'm gonna get better shit, I'm gonna have like, I'm going to upgrade myself, I'm gonna find pieces and parts, and it gives me the RPG element that, like, Sea of Thieves doesn't do. Sea of Thieves is all, it's cosmetic, right? Like, you're just progressing your pirate to become more cosmetic. Whereas here, I'm like, okay, I'm progressing my ship to get a bigger ship, or to get better guns, or whatever.
Pretty sure you
else.
can get
like,
bigger ships in Sea of Thieves, can't you?
Well, you
not
you can
not
choose,
not without progression. Like, you have to have a specific amount of people on your crew in order to get bigger ships.
I mean, you could like, you could absolutely say, I want to go in as a galleon, right?
Gotcha.
But with one person,
that is
fucking luck.
Like, yeah, that is one thing that I can I can say I kind of agree with him on, is like, it really just depends on what you're looking for. Are you looking for like the progression of like being able to get stronger, or are you looking just to be on a ship and have fun as a pirate, right? Like, that's the whole thing, is like, these two are very different but very similar in many different ways. But like, the progression system is definitely not one that's similar in either options. So
yeah, I mean,
I can see where you're coming from with that, but I don't know, man.
Keep in mind, right? Because I mean, again, I understand that I know my role in this podcast and being the villain. I am just saying that for $20,
you
like,
made that role.
Like, yeah, again, I mean, I was given the warden title. I am owning my villain status.
Nobody gave you the warden title other than yourself. Nobody did.
Yes, you did. Anyway, but this is again, for $20, the game is, I'm enjoying it. There's enough content there, in my opinion, to get $20 worth of value out of it. Again, $70, absolutely not. Is it a quadruple A game? Absolutely not. Right? Is it a triple A game? Yeah, sure, I guess. I mean, but it's there. And again, the UI system, like, after you get used to the UI, it's fun, but there are some things that are annoying about it. But all in all, like, the game, I will say, because I spent $20 on it, I can see the fun in it and have a good time playing it. Whereas if I spent $70, I would be very pissed off. Like, I just would.
I'm just watching this, and it literally looks like an up-resed version of the Kingdom Hearts 3 ship combat
Black Flag. Yeah.
minus not having PvP. Like I could go play an equivalent of this PvE wise in Kingdom Hearts with ship upgrades, with weapon upgrades. With
you could go play this exact game. You could literally go play this exact game single player in Black Flag.
And I'm not saying that you can't. I'm just saying that for $20, if you want a multiplayer style sea combat game, right? Like, and Sea of Thieves wasn't kind of your bag, like you can get some fun out of this. Again, for $20. Don't go spend 70 on it. Don't go spend fucking 40 or whatever else. Like, for $20, you can go have a good time. And that's all I'm saying. Like, you know, there's contracts, there's randomized events that happen. There's, you know, again, I understand it's Black Flag tech. Like, the sea tech is really great. The map is really large. Like, there's, you know, plenty of stuff to do in Black Flag, or in Black Flag. I mean, it is Black Flag, but in, you know, Skull and Bones for $20. That's all I'm fucking saying. Like, it's well worth it for $20.
Fair enough.
Okay.
If that's your stamp, that's your stamp.
I mean, yeah, I mean, again, it's good.
Quadruple A video game, by the way,
I'm not gonna knock on you for enjoying what you like.
Yeah.
Quadruple A video game, by the way, guys. $20, 3 months. Just say.
What?
Just say.
What? What do you mean 3 months? 3 months what?
It's only been out for 3 months.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely, 100%.
$20.
Yeah. Again, I'm not agreeing with anybody saying that this is a fucking like, oh my god, it's the best game ever. People that spend 20 or fucking more than $20 on this, I feel sorry for you. But I'm just saying, for $20, it's fucking worth it.
As Pika says, I can go play World of Warships for free and get the same thing.
I'm just saying, if you wanted to try it, it's $20 fucking dollars, man. Like, you can go give it a shot for $20. It's you know, it's good. I will say, I will go ahead and give, and Bill, you're gonna fucking hate it, and we all should. And I don't agree with it either. The very first thing that you see once you download the game and hit play is the fucking acknowledgement. You want to know what you acknowledge? It says right then and there that you are only getting access to this as long as we want to give it to you. It is basically telling you you are renting this fucking game, and that they can get rid of it whenever they want.
Yep.
So
I thought you were going to say the cash shop as well.
No, they don't.
Welcome to Ubisoft.
They actually don't surprisingly throw the cash shop too much in your face, as much as you would you would think. Yeah, it's really they do that more with Siege than what they do with this. But again, obviously Siege is their cash cow. This is not.
No.
You know, but we'll see. I mean, we're supposed to be getting new DLC for it and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, we'll.
Hey, at least the development on this is going better than Femstars'.
There you go.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, that was Oh, no, God damn it, Skull and Bones. Can't even get the fucking name of it right. Yep. All right, the next game. Go ahead, Enigma. You can get queued up for this one. Is Star Citizen. I jumped in and played Star Citizen. And purchased $150 worth of ships. for Star Citizen.
Real money?
Real money.
Real money.
Hey man, I'm not gonna give you shit for this. I've literally been telling you for fucking years that this game is decent. In fact, I told you before you even bought the game that it probably wouldn't be your style, and I don't really think that you would like it. I'm shocked. I'm personally extremely shocked that you've put as many hours into it as you've put.
What's the base price of the game?
45.
You can get into it for like 30, 45. Yeah,
$45
if you want to. Yeah,
I bought.
It just really depends on what. Yeah, I was gonna say it just really depends on how, like the experience, like the entry level experience that you want to get from it.
So did you buy like an enhanced edition, or did you spend the 45 and then 150 on top?
No.
Enhanced. He bought he bought a more powerful ship in the form of I think the Avenger or the Titan. Which one did you buy?
Avenger Titan. That's what it's called.
Yeah, that's what I saw there.
Yeah.
And what was the other one you bought?
The Galacticillion. Don't please any Star Citizen fans don't butcher me on that one.
Yeah.
But
So
No,
this one doesn't really. I mean, it when it comes down to like the enhanced edition, you're not purchasing enhanced editions. You're purchasing enhanced experiences when it comes down to like your entry into the game by buying better ships, essentially, right?
Yeah.
Like you're not buying Star Citizen Ultimate Edition or Star Citizen Premium Edition. You know, you're buying a package of Star Citizen. You're getting the same experience. You're just getting a quicker experience into like certain situations and certain things. So
is this the game that if your ship gets like destroyed or whatnot, you're just out of that money?
No. Well, so
Okay.
No.
there's a lot. So, okay. One of the things that I have been, which I knew, right, going into opening myself up to this game, was the different sides of it, right? Whether it's, and we have been on this side. Myself and Enigma have talked about it, right? Like the game is never like I've never doubted that there was content to do in the game or play the game or whatever. Well, I was just basically saying like, hey, the game's never fucking coming out, right? And that may still be 100% true, right? But there was a lot of misconceptions and rumors and all of those kind of things around what is out there. And I had to learn them as well. If something does happen to your ship, you do have to file what's called an insurance claim. You're going to see it happen right here. And this was me literally first time joining, couldn't see the ground. Didn't know how close I was to the fucking ground because I couldn't tell. My ship fucking blew up. So then I am now, I'm now sent back to the main area. I have to like get my shit. I then have to go do an insurance claim to file to get my ship back. It costs money to get my ship back.
But if you don't have money. It costs in-game money, not cash.
What if you don't have in-game money?
So it's still, you can expedite it, right? Is what costs the credits or not ISKs. I forgot.
Okay, so it's either time or
right.
It's just credits,
right. It's just credits. So you
whatever the credits
you will spend in-game money to expedite that, or you can have you just have another ship, right, and you use that ship. So there's again the game is talking about like private hangars and like, oh, you could steal someone's ship and possibly store it in their hangar. There's a lot of what ifs that could happen. I think that where this game gets itself in some trouble, because again, everyone is kind of like, well, what happens if we do like, oh, well, this is supposed to happen. Well, this is supposed to happen. And people are like, well, yeah, well, that's great. But if it doesn't, if you could promise the world and it doesn't mean anything if it doesn't actually release. So, I am just shocked. And what I will say is that, I thought the learning curve for Star Citizen was going to be fucking through the roof. I'm not going to say that it's not easy, but it's also
the first night that he fucking gets in the game, he's like, bro, I don't know what you're talking about, man. This fucking game is fucking easy.
I did not say that
I literally just landed my ship by myself. I'm like, bro.
Literally, all I said was that the learning curve for this was literally during this chat or during this stream was explained to be like, oh my god, like it's so fucking it's hard or like it's straight up. And I'm not gonna say like it doesn't that there's not difficult things that you got to figure out, because I've asked chat every single night, like, hey, how do I do this? How do I do that? Right. But what I'm just saying is that comparable to something like Tarkov, when I jump in and I'm just like, I don't know shit and good fucking luck trying to figure it out unless you're just going to beat your head against the wall. In this, it's kind of like, okay, well,
I mean, again, you had a chat helping you. Like if you didn't have a chat helping you, you would have had a lot harder
because
of a time.
because I started playing before chat and with the tutorial. And the tutorial I was able to like, okay, cool. This is how I get into my ship. This is how I get my ship up. This is how I start flying. This is how I land, type of thing. It's like, yes, I had to kind of figure out and ask chat a couple different like things about like, okay, how do I do this? But like the tutorial does a good job of teaching you that. And I have felt comfortable enough to jump in and play without having to be streaming or having chats like guidance. That's what I'm saying. Like Tarkov is one of those things where I feel like Tarkov is a lot more difficult than what this is to get into. And start doing.
I completely disagree with you on that one, but I've never played Tarkov, so I'm just watching you guys play it. So
it's not again, it's rough, but I also love the fact that really this game does give you kind of the option to be like, hey, you can do whatever you fucking want, right? Like you want to be a trucker, be a trucker. You want to be a fucking medic, be a medic. There's still a lot of things that are still fucked with the game and borked. Like yesterday, my ship completely just blew up out of nowhere.
Yep.
like
that's Star Citizen for you.
Just fucking, I was literally in the middle of finishing a mission that I had spent probably like 2.5 hours on, trying to get done. And then my ship blew up and I was like, well, that was 2.5 hours fucking wasted. So that doesn't feel fun. But
just to address some of the questions in the chat. Yes, this is like Star Citizen does sell ships for thousands of dollars that aren't in the game yet. Yes, this is the game. Yes, that is correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so, whether or not you want to, pay for that, you can. There's a really good take. Good.
I was just about to say that is one good thing about like the current rendition of Star Citizen is like now that they have the persistent universe, which is what they're basically labeling as like they no longer have to wipe everything. Oh, I mean, I think they still do wipes. I don't quote me on that, but they no longer have to, like, when you go into this server, when you go into the universe and you do something, your credits are still there when you log back on. Like if you log back off and log back on, your credits are still there. The PU is now like solidified enough that like you can start buying ships. So you no longer have to, you're no longer stuck to just like what ships you bought on your package, essentially, which was what was the case for a long time, right? Now you can go in, you can do some space trucking, you can do some whatever you were doing with the cargo. You can steal people's ships. Yeah. Granted, you're not gonna be able to keep people's ships. That's not part of it. Yeah, that will be part of it at some point. They want it to be, but yeah,
keep it or sell.
Yeah. Well, so I stole someone's ship. Shocker. And it was, I couldn't land it where I needed to land it or whatever else. You had to go to like these outskirts. So they have these cool rules and cool sets of play. I want to ask you that question. How long do you think that they can keep doing this? Like, hey, this will come, this will come, this will come.
I don't think they can do it for very much longer. There is actually like you got to remember this game has been in development for like since like 2012, 2013, right? Like it's been in development for an extremely long time. And it's starting to get to that point now. Granted, there's probably people out there that will defend it to the fucking teeth, right? They'll go down on that ship trying to defend it and everything like that, right? I was one of those people for a long time. I was one of those people that was like, I can see the vision. I know I can see what they want to do with it, right? And I believe in it. I am slowly now starting to be one of those people that's like, okay, it's been a development enough. Like you guys need to stop promising new shit and fix and implement the shit that you have currently. Like you need to stop promising new things and just work on the fucking game and get it out, right? Because like we've now been I don't know how many years, right, where they've been promising us new shit, implementing one or two of the little things, promising new shit, and implementing one or two of the little things. Like I literally just barely got my ship that I bought a long ass time ago. I want to say like 6-7 years ago, maybe 2 years ago, right? So like yeah, and
I mean
I don't think they can continue to do it for very much longer, because I know that a lot of like the diehard community that would have been defending them for every decision is starting to go against them a little bit recently. So
well, and there is like the first person mode, which I've seen good and bad. I've watched some videos. I've not participated in the first person shooter mode, but I've heard good, I've heard bad. They've added a lot of other cool stuff, but I think where we're all kind of getting, and even like me being very new into this, and you're seeing it right here, like server error, please wait. You're just kind of like, okay. And if this happens in the middle of like you doing something and the server crashes, you're sent right back to the base. You're fucked. Like
you're out of whatever you were doing. Yep.
Right. Like I think at a certain, like what we're all kind of at is like, guys, you stop adding stuff, like make the game completely smooth, playable, work, or whatever else. And then if you want to add more shit later, like do that. Like that's what an MMO
Which
does.
they have been doing. Like they have been trying to do it a little bit, but it's definitely one of those things where I think that at this point it's almost like they've promised so much that it's an unobtainable goal.
Right.
To add everything in.
It's almost
like
it's almost like releasing WoW and then being like, hey, oh, we're gonna add this now, we're gonna add this now, we're gonna add this now, but like WoW is never fucking playable out, and it's somewhat feel like when you play this game, you'll be in awe at first of like, oh my god, these ships are fucking really fully rendered. Like yesterday, I was walked onto this dude's fucking, this thing was massive, and it was
Yeah,
crazy
he walked
detailed
on
and
an
whatever else.
890 jump, which is
Yeah.
like the super yacht of the
Fucking
space.
crazy or whatever else. And it's impressive as shit. But like, I'm sitting there like, oh my God, this is amazing. But then you're like, and then you're like, this is held together with duct tape and chewing gum.
Well,
like it's,
and see
you
that
know.
that right there is a really good example, and like they completed that, like the design of that, before they completed the design of my ship, right? Or not completed it, but like implemented it into the game. My ship, the Hull C, was one of the original ships that was announced like back in 2012 2013 area, right? So like they completed the 890 jump, and I don't quote me on this, I'm not 100% on this, but I think the 890 jump came in before the Hull C, right? Like that, like the priorities are just a little shifted.
Right.
They're just a little skewed on some of these things. They've added in ships that they've just barely like announced before some of their older ships. It's just I don't know, man. It's a very weird priority scheme when it comes down to like their developments, and I don't understand it. I get that, like at least with the Hull C, a lot of people will say, you know, well they didn't have a way of like the Hull C when it's extended docking, so they couldn't implement it into the game at that point, because there was no way for them to be able to dock while fully extended in space. But it's one of those things where it's like you could still give me the ship, like let me see the ship that I paid money for. Don't withhold it for years and years and years until you finally do. Like that makes no sense to me. It's just
yeah,
I don't know,
so,
man.
I don't know. Anyway, again, I played this. I played Star Citizen. I can actively now talk about it, say I've played it. I can give my opinions on it because now I have played it. And yes, it was $150 to get 2 ships. So
well, for you could have paid $30.
Again, I could have paid, well, 40, it's 45. 45 is the base game.
45, again, whatever it is.
And all these ships you can get in game.
You can get in game
by playing.
Yeah. By playing
by
the
playing
game. So
and getting
you can buy a
what's the grind like?
Well,
I
mean,
if you stream, people will just hand you cash left and fucking right, because I got $100,000 Citizen or whatever starts in cash.
Yeah, so
but anyway.
So the grind is pretty decent from what I understand, but it's really up to what you want to do. Like if you want to be a bounty hunter, the grind is going to be worse, right? Like because you're going to have to contend with PvP, you're going to have to do stuff like that. If you're more of a space trucker like I'm going to do, it might not be that bad, because like again, I have a Hull C, I can just load that bitch up and take it someplace and make thousands upon thousands of credits in one go. So it's really up to what you want to do and how you want to play the game. That's going to dictate how bad your grind is going to be, right?
Yeah.
Like,
and you accept
I do know that like that 890 jump that he pulled, he said that he bought that at 35 when it was 35 million, and he said that it's like I think it's like 100 million plus right now in game. So it's an interesting one.
Yeah. So anyway, I mean the fun behind it is you can do what you want, be what you want, kind of idea, and again, for $35 or $45 or whatever, or when they have a free weekend, I do recommend jumping in and trying it. You don't have to have the beefiest fucking rig to do it. But if this is your kind of thing, right? Like, don't get intimidated by all the shit that you see. It does walk you through enough to get you started or whatever else. You're going to crash your shit, but go in, and I think for $35, $45, you can have a fun time and it's enjoyable if this is your kind of steez. So there you go. All right. Well, let's talk about another game that is very much up this alley and actually just came out, and I played it quite a bit yesterday. Good old PAX Day. You guys familiar with this game?
Yeah.
Okay. So PAX Day is what this moving? Yes, I'm moving. Okay. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm just sitting here looking at the sky. So PAX Day is if Star Citizen is future sandbox MMO, this is complete the other direction and being a medieval sandbox MMO. It is a early access $40 price tag to get in. And you are so the I don't even know how to explain. The premise behind this is that you essentially join in, you are joined onto a server, and you get for $40 one plot of land. The plot of land, when you just saw up here, was like a circular area that you could kind of say, this is mine. And you can build that out, right? You could build, from what I know, as high up as you want to go. But if you want to go wide, right, to be able to control multiple area spaces of land, you need to either clan up with somebody or you need to buy their bigger versions of the game and have more plots of land. It is a third person survival sandbox MMO is what they are calling it. Everything in the world is crafted by people. So if you like everything as far as shops or buildings or whatever else, that is all people generated. I don't quote me, but I don't think that there's actual NPCs as far as a store fronts or things. Like I think you have to
I'm not sure.
I think you have to build all of that and do everything and run it. What this feels like is if Rust met Valhalla, not Valhalla, Valheim meets I don't know, like a Star Citizen-esque style kind of thing, like be what you want, do what you want, whatever else, because you have skills that you level up, whether it be medic skills, whether it be cooking skills or whatever, and you kind of set your own profession.
And you have to specialize too. Like it's not one of those things where it's like you can specialize in everything. Right. You physically have to specialize in something in order to do it well, right? Like you can be a jack of a lot of trades from what I understand, but it's not going to get you that far. Like this game is not a solo friendly game. Like you will not get very far as a solo player from what I understand.
Yeah, I don't know why this
which kind of sucks.
Problem,
yeah, I was about to say, which kind of sucks because you're looking at it like, well, I mean, one dude that I was watching, I can't remember who I was watching, but he did a video on it, and he was like, his buddy spent the weekend trying to grind up his cooking. He spent like 100 hours or something like that trying to grind up his cooking, and he was in a group of 10 players, and it was still a struggle just to do cooking, because you have to have other people. If you want to push your cooking to the next level by making a new stove, right, you have to have not only your experience in building that stove, but you have to have somebody to provide the tier 2 materials, the tier 2 steel or the tier 2 rock, everything like that. So
I mean, yes and no. I could absolutely go so grouping up is obviously going to make it better, but I could go in and be like, okay, I got to go get this and I got to go get this. I got to go you could solo play it by being a great, for instance, I need a kiln, right? Throughout my playthrough here, I was like, I need a kiln. Well, my plot of land that I set up, right, is on top of this hill, kind of surrounded by rocks and shit, so I don't get fucking attacked. But my problem is well, I don't have clay anywhere around me, so I need to go find clay to get that, which is a normal survival MMO style of game. But the issue then becomes in this is okay, well, if you look around me, and I'm trying to find and where you can see, so now I'm out hunting, if basically the entire rest of these people or people around me built walls and built shit that blocked off the clay, I'm fucked. I can't do anything, right? Which is a typical sandbox MMO, but there's no way for me to declare war on them, to go and try to PvP them, because I have to be in a PvP zone to do that right now.
Sin with his fucking PvP, man.
Yeah, man. I like fucking ruining people's day. What do you want?
So they can fully lock you out of places. I know V Rising had a mechanics where you couldn't fully lock people out of spots.
Yes.
Or but regions and whatnot.
At least in V Rising, you can also, you can attack their shit.
Openly,
you know what I mean?
Declare war. Yeah.
Right. You can just kind of open PvP.
Also in V Rising, you can do everything. It doesn't lock you behind skill progression. So it's one of those things where it's I don't know. To me, from everything that I've read and from everything that I've been watching, people are not they're giving it good reviews when it comes to the visuals, and the specific gameplay of it looks gorgeous. The building system in it is bar none. It's great. A lot of people are saying that if you want to build that medieval fantasy, castle of your dreams, this is a really good game for it, as long as you have the fucking player base to do it, as long as you have the friends to do that, because obviously you're going to need a lot of people to be able to do that, right? But the things that they're complaining about is crafting feels really stunted, combat feels janky as shit, not not great at all. Like they're saying it's hardly even worth doing combat. Like it feels very, very unpolished. Very there's not enough oomph behind the attacks and everything like that.
Sure.
They're also saying like the gathering doesn't feel like at all like you're doing anything.
But
it's early access. I will give it it is early access. Like, I'm sure that a lot of that will be ironed out. But yeah, that was $40, and on top of that, when it releases, they want to charge a fucking a sub for it. Yeah,
right.
This looks like it has more content than Skull and Bones.
Oh, okay.
I don't know about that, bro.
So I will say that like certain gathering is very quick.
Yeah.
Certain gathering is like cool. Like when I'm chopping a tree, like I feel like you see the little bar, it's chopping a tree, whatever, right?
Well, the one that they gave like examples of is like there's no animation, literally no animation for when you like skin an animal. You just
but I don't.
You look at the animal and it
100%
vanishes.
honest, I like it. I'm like, cool. This is quick, fast. Like, let me go in. I killed something.
Yeah.
Boom, process it. I get all my shit. I move on to the next one.
But
I'm with you there.
But for a game that prizes itself on realism, when it comes down to like a lot of stuff that they're doing,
I mean, okay, let's take a step back with the whole fucking realism thing, because at the same time too, like it's when I die, I magically show up at this like this what do they call it, the PAX Day stone, and then I can like soul pull my shit if it's in a bad spot to me. And then fucking all of a sudden get my gear. I'm just
it has
saying, like,
game mechanics for resurrecting. That literally doesn't do anything
I'm
for.
Saying, like, I'm all I'm saying is like
so you're saying that magically you're pulling that animal apart and just it vanishes into
I'm just
fucking
saying
thin air.
that let's not pick and choose where we want to say realism versus non-realism. And
I'm just pointing out what other people think, and I agree.
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking about the dumbasses on the internet. So
my thoughts on that kind of shit though is we're in a point in gaming where like there's so many modern conveniences, like a lot of open world style games, not necessarily survival or MMO style, don't even have like loot like animations or anything like that. I think is that kind of mechanic is getting phased out. It's being seen as more archaic and more time filly, and that like what some people like yourself would enjoy the skinning animations and whatnot, and they see that as a checkbox. I think more and more people are starting to see that as a negative.
Like again, for me, I love the fact
now
that
with chopping trees or mining and stuff like that makes sense. But it would be weird if like you chop the tree and then you have to go around and gather each individual log.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I like the quick element to it. Like it's fast, it's whatever else. Where I got turned off was, and where I see where everyone is kind of like, God damn, this grind is going to be miserable. Is like you go in to do like tanning, for instance, right? And I will agree, like the crafting system, the like progression system through that doesn't make sense in the way that you would hope it would. But like you go in and you skin an animal, right? And then you go to take that animal parts, and then you have to turn that into rough leather. Then you take that rough leather back over to your tanning system and you put it in there, and you got to wait 20 minutes to get 10, right? So I have to build fucking 50 of these things if I'm a singular person playing, to be able to then get enough leather to be able to make myself a piece of gear, right? Like it's that system. I'm kind of like, man, y'all really like, you went fast with all this shit, but then the system there to get like, armor and stuff like that, you slowed the fuck down so much. That feels very like artificially like lengthened or made to be like, hey, I just want to make sure like this is only, which to be fair, they said this is a game to be played with people. Like this is not like literally in their thing. It goes, do not solo out by yourself. This is meant to be played with other people, which for me sucks because like I said it yesterday, I want to like, I do like the game. I think it's fun. And I enjoyed it, but I want people to play with like,
yeah. Well, and the thing is like it's, I don't know, man. It's very weird because like when they released it into early access, this was literally I think today or the other day. No, it was a couple days ago. Yeah. But previously to that, they released like an outline of like what this game is, right? And their head was like, it's not a theme park, it's not a survival game or a medieval simulator. It is also not a fast-paced game, since there are no levels, resources won't be immediately surrounding players, and it's not a single-player game. Though there is enjoyable solo content and players can play with a clan, it's built to encourage group play, and its harshest corners cannot be taken alone. But then it also is, he says, we strive to build with PAX Day. What we strive to build with PAX Day is a living, breathing world, a world that comes alive through the actions of its players working together or against each other. So, like, to me, I understand where they're trying to go down with that route. Like, they want to limit you in progression, and they're trying to push you into playing with groups. But at the same time, I've played those games before, right? I've played Mortal Online, which was exactly like this. The Mortal Online was very, very brutal, very, very unrewarding when it came to like solo play, right? You had to have a group, you had to have multiple people, right? And it just became too much of a grind over time, right? Like, just like you said, there were times where it was like you had to have, 18 fucking people in order to do one thing, and not that's while yes, that's like a creative direction that they're going down. I'm not sure how successful they're going to be in today's market.
That was going to be my question to you guys. Do you think, because we all play MMOs, right? We all love Final Fantasy 14, WoW, right? We've played survival. We're all multiplayer players. Do you think that something like this, because this is very remnant of like what Chad is saying, old school RuneScape,
like old school RuneScape,
old fucking Ultima, like EverQuest, like these are games that like required people to be on. Like, do you think something like this, and let's not even take into consideration the dumbassery of charging a fucking monthly fee, do you think it's a game like this could survive, and can really stay afloat?
I mean, I think it can, but it's going to be a very niche player base, right? Like, they're going to have to rely on that niche player base. If they can't make it a little bit more accessible for like solo players or at least like small groups of players, then yeah, I don't think it will. And on top of that, again, like you said, like making a like an MMO like this and then adding a subscription to it. I'm not sure. Do you have to pay the subscription in order to play the game, or does the subscription give you certain things?
No, it is a, so they they come out and say it a couple times of being like, hey, we don't know what the future holds for the payment method or what the game is going to look like. It may be wow. I'm like, that is a fucking joke.
Yeah,
like,
that's legitimately like legalese speak for, yeah, we're really not sure if they're gonna like the subscription, so we might break it off, we might not later on. Who knows?
It does say that like if you buy the game now, you will get the game for sure. I'm like, well, you get to fucking take it away from me? I mean, what Ubisoft? Like, but you might take the game, like you will get the game, and then you will get a certain amount of time. That's like literally their words. They didn't tell you how much time. They didn't tell you, like, they're just like, you'll get a certain amount of time. It's weird. Personally, but I mean,
I don't know. I'm of the opinion. I don't like, as if they continue down this route and this is what we get with a subscription, no, it won't survive.
Yeah. Cause I also don't know. Oh, go ahead, Bill. Sorry.
No, I just wanted to piggyback. I feel like with the way gamers are these days and the turnover and how many of these style games are coming out constantly, forcing like the multiplayer reliance is going to kill off the game, because people that might enjoy the game, if they can't progress in it fine solo, they're gonna leave for other things.
Let me give me 1 second. Mortal Online 2, right? This is a brand new game that just released. So Mortal Online, this is right up the alley, right? Like, this is essentially, PAX Day looks a little bit better and it has different systems in it, but this Mortal Online is basically what PAX Day is. It's a MMO, very, very heavily reliant on group play, right? Very, very heavily reliant on that kind of stuff. It's been released since, I believe, release date was like January of 2022, somewhere around there, 2023. No, January 25th. Yeah, the 25th of January 2022 was when it released. They have 816 people playing the game right now on Steam TV.
That's rough. That's not enough to sustain an MMO.
You know that and again, the game Mortal Online 2 is exactly like PAX Day in a lot of senses. They have a subscription fee that you have to pay, right? Like that's their previous one, Mortal Online 1. You have to pay for the game, and you have to pay for a subscription for Mortal Online 2. Yes, so that it's very, very similar in a lot of aspects. They have not done well, right? Like they in with all intents and purposes, they have failed. I'm surprised they're still going.
Wow.
Like,
yeah.
So that I don't know. Take that with a grain of salt. Obviously, the different games, different genres. This game is more of like a survival game, whereas that game is more of like a traditional MMO, right?
One thing to also keep in mind with this game is what you're seeing here on chat or on screen now is as I'm crafting, you have fail stacks, or you can fail, not fail stacks. You can fail. So as you like, you're seeing the red bar come down again. There's a little hash mark in that bar on my crafting. If my blue bar goes above that hash mark and then the red bar hits it, I'm good. I crafted it. It's great. If that red bar goes below that or past that hash mark, then I fail. And so now my materials, you get some materials, but you do not get all the materials back. So now all of my time is now also wasted as a single player person, because
that's interesting.
I have to go like get all that gear back, get all the materials back and stuff like that. Which again,
Celia in our chat is also saying that it gets even worse. The crafting system requires you to read books, but they don't really give you a heads up as to like the specific order of books you have to read in. And nothing tells you where to get those books. So like it's one of those things where it's like
I don't even mind necessarily that.
I don't necessarily mind that as well, because like it's one of those things where it's like once one person finds out about it, everybody's gonna know about it, right? Like the sense of exploration in these types of games is one thing that draws me to these types of games. But in a sense, like I think that they're making things a little too difficult. And I could be wrong. I've never played it too
difficult for individual people, because I want again, I rolled up on someone's base. They had their chest all sitting there or whatever else unprotected. And I'm like, cool, let me bash that fucking shit in and take their stuff. Right. It doesn't let you do that. Like it's just, nope, can't do it. And I'm like, well, what's the point of having all these plots of lands and, whatever else? And it doesn't exist. Like, it's just like, well, you can't, it's just so that it almost feels kind of like they're kind of saying, hey, if you buy more plots of lands or you play with more friends, well, then fuck you. You get, if you're a single player, then here's the finger, because you're not as cool because you don't get to play with all these other people. And it's kind of like, well, that's not cool. Like, maybe I want to be a solo person out in the world, going to do my own thing.
Yeah.
So,
which is sad because Celia's saying, it's going to be rough for them to have a thriving player base with this type of gameplay. In my opinion, they'll have a really good release, obviously, because people are going to be drawn to it for the graphics and everything like that, right? But I think within a year or two they'll be right there with Mortal at 500 players max.
I don't know. I mean, again, I enjoyed it. I had fun with it, but I may keep playing it for a little bit longer. But it's tough. And for $40, it's definitely very tough.
It's and a sub like not just $40.
$40. And I mean, $40 right now. $40 right now.
Right now,
and a sub. All right,
and the possibility of a sub, I should say.
I want to, before we get into the news.
Oh no.
You gonna eat some crow right now?
Bill, I want to talk to you.
I was about to say, we're just gonna go silent for 15 minutes. Is that
Bill, I want to talk to you. So
okay, what are we talking about, bud?
All right, chat. So if you're unfamiliar with what's about to happen, okay. On last week's episode, I talked about Elden Ring DLC. Well, we talked about Elden Ring DLC. Myself, Enigma, and Scruffy. Bill, unfortunately, was not able to make the last week's show, and he is here now.
Let's make a designation really quickly. Let's a distinction right now. Myself and Scruffy talked about Elden Ring. You gave a really bad take. And continued to.
Nope. No. So. Bill knows what the talking point is. I'm going to bring it back up so that we can talk about it. And obviously I have inflamed the internet and all of the Elden Ring fanboys and girls and people. Completely fine. I know my place in this world. But the take was that basically Elden Ring is gatekeeping their DLC because they are locking it behind an optional boss that only
2 optional bosses.
Okay. Oh, fucking great. Even better. 2 fucking optional bosses that only 37% of the player base has actually completed. Now, I don't know what the current number is right now, but as of that last week's show and that article that we got, the statistics were that 37% of the player base had not, only 37% had completed the optional bosses needed to access the DLC.
Right.
I don't know fucking how you tell me that this is not gatekeeping the fucking DLC.
I mean, it's
have fun, Bill.
The way I see it, and I think the way a lot of the internet is seeing it, is if you're buying the DLC to play more Elden Ring, you're not going to complain about playing more Elden Ring. I think that if you have no interest on playing the DLC, then you probably either didn't enjoy the game for one, or you enjoyed it enough to get through it and then you moved on. I feel like having the nature of DLC in general is to give people, like, give the ones that enjoyed your product the most the next step, the big push, give them more of what they are seeking and potentially give them better than what the base game had. That being said, this isn't the first time that From Software specifically has done something obscure and off the beaten path that isn't story progression to access a DLC. So it being an optional boss, I don't think is either here or there for the people that are wanting to play the DLC. And if for some reason they're wanting to buy the DLC and they haven't beaten Moog or Radon, this gives them a reason to do so. They're obviously, if they purchase this DLC, are wanting more content. So if this is content that they missed to access the DLC, they're probably happy about it because they wanted more Elden Ring to begin with. I just cannot see somebody complaining about getting more Elden Ring to unlock more Elden Ring.
He's right down there. He's or wherever it's at. I don't know where I'm at on the screen, but he's right over there.
So okay,
that is my take.
So I will say that I understand, like, you're absolutely right. People will buy DLCs because they enjoyed playing like the game. Most people will not just go be like, oh, I want to be in the zeitgeist of what's going on and the feverish of what's going on. Even though I will say that I think a lot of people do that nowadays, especially with like live streamers and being like, oh my God, this looks like so much fun. Like, let me go pick it up, whatever else. Right. And they go and they buy the DLC. But I will say, yes, I think that most people will buy the DLC because they enjoyed playing Elden Ring. And they're like, okay, cool. I want more Elden Ring. And it's something, again, that, oh my God, like it's launching right now. Like, let me go pick it up. Right. Don't disagree there. Right. But my problem.
Yes, you do. You literally disagreed with that same take last week when I said
I didn't.
it. Yes, you did.
I said that.
Yes, you did.
We're up to 40%, by the way, on Moog.
I've never. Thank God, 40%. It's gone up 3%. Holy shit. So what I'm saying though is that, and I actually know someone that bought the DLC because they liked Elden Ring, they enjoyed Elden Ring, and they're like, cool, I want to go jump into this new stuff of like the new Elden Ring content, right? And they bought the DLC, and they're like, how the fuck do I access it? And then they went online and they saw, so I have to go defeat this other boss, right? And then went to go defeat the other boss and returned it because they're like, and again, I'm not saying that they are a fucking, like, all of the, and I think what this is where it doesn't make me mad, but I think it's laughable to sit here and be like, oh, well, if you're not a man enough or a good enough player to defeat this person, then you're not even going to survive the DLC. That's not my argument. That's not my point. My point of it is that why do you make something that somebody would have, and again, I guarantee that this person is not alone.
Did that person finish the game?
Did they finish the original Elden Ring? I know that so I will eat crow on the fact that I said Melania was the final boss or whatever else. Like, that is just a name that I've heard the most, Melania or whatever else. And I have never once said that I'm a fucking Elden Ring master or a lore, or I know the fucking game backward and forward. But they beat whoever I know they beat Melania, and they've beaten whoever like the last boss, I guess, of Elden Ring is. Sure, Radagon. They've beaten that, but they have never beaten this other person. And the argument to be like, oh, well, if you've beaten Melania and you've beaten Radagon, you should easily be able to beat this person. I'm not saying that's not the truth, but I'm just saying this person who bought the game ready to go in because they were like, cool, I beat the final boss, I beat the game, right? Or whatever else. I saw a credit roll or however it works, was like ready to go into the fucking game, and then they bought it and they're like, no, I'm gonna fucking return it because I can't play it. Like, that's what I'm talking about.
But they can, they just didn't want to.
They can, they just didn't want to. Right, yeah, they can 100% play it.
Again,
they just chose not to.
This goes back to what I was saying.
Refresh your camera, by the way, real quick. Sorry, your camera's frozen.
Is it frozen?
Yeah.
This goes back to what I was saying though. With you bought the Elden Ring DLC for more Elden Ring, and then you returned it because they're forcing you to play more Elden Ring.
But it's not because what I'm saying is it's not because they're forcing. It's because they are telling, like, they don't. This is not a person that like scours the internet. This is not a person that like, and again, sure, like and that's where my problem is with all of the comments that are like, oh, fucking Google it. Oh, fucking do this. I'm like, yeah, okay, I get it. We all live with a phone attached to our hip. I could chat GBT fucking anything and everything I want, right?
You can.
But what I am saying is that if you're literally taking money and going, bye, I don't fucking want your $40 because this person, whoever it may be, can't go figure out that they want to go.
You want to know something worse than this? The Dark Souls 1 DLC, A Tourist to the Abyss. To access that, you had to kill a random, not even boss, just a random, like, one-off elite enemy in a random location. And then after that, you had to kill just a random enemy later in one of the endgame dungeons and pick up a talisman that nowhere in its item description explained what. And this was available, I'm pretty sure, before the DLC came out. Correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments. And then after you did all of that, you then go to a cave that was behind that one elite enemy, and there's a portal there now.
Yeah. By the way, chat.
I'm not trying to say that that's right, but nobody complained about that, and that's probably the most obscure way to access a DLC that I've personally ever seen.
Yeah. By the way, we may lose Enigma. I don't know. He's like, Bill, you're seeing him like join in and out, right? Yeah, Discord's fucked.
He just said that his internet's probably going out. So if we lose Enigma,
okay, we may lose Enigma, but okay, I don't know. But if you can't join, just stay like this so it doesn't fuck up the cameras. Well, so
that's my take on it.
But that's not why is that acceptable? Why is that the accept? Like, I just don't understand. Like, to say,
so
well, that's just from software.
What were you? Well, it's not even just what From Software is. There's plenty of other RPGs that have progression access to their DLCs, or you need to get to a certain point, or you have to unlock a certain area to get access to the DLC.
I mean, like, it's not like, you look at World of Warcraft.
What would you want?
Okay, I'm not.
I think the most straightforward one we had was Dark Souls 3's access to the DLC, where the first one you had, like, you found this NPC in one of the areas, and it's a fairly early area in the game, and he pulls you into the DLC.
Right.
And then the second DLC that they came out, you can either access through the end of that first DLC or the very end of the game.
Hey, Enigma's back.
Am I good? Fucking Discord's just like, Discord was like, no, you're talking like shit. Go away.
They kicked out one of the Elden Ring believers, not the fucking one that was saying wrong. So I'm not against saying that you have to get to a certain point in a DLC or a game to progress to a DLC. Every MMO ever has done that for expansions, right? Of going, hey, we got to get to, you got to get to level 60, right? But it's like a very understandable thing of like you got to get to level 60.
So it's the obscurity of it
it's the
is
obscurity,
bothering you
but
more so than it being an optional boss.
Well, it's the obscurity plus the optional boss just kind of makes it like, why are you doing it this way? Like, why can you not be like, hey, you need to have beaten like the like. I wonder how many people have beaten Godfrey, right? What is it? Godfrey, right? That's his name, right? One of the very first.
Okay. I don't know if you guys have already talked about it, right? Like I understand. I kind of understand where you're coming from with it being an optional boss, right? But at the same time,
Two
like
optional bosses.
It's not like the boss, the blood, whatever, Mog, the blood lord or whatever it is. I can't remember his name, Magog or whatever. Moog, the blood lord or whatever. He is directly tied to the DLC.
Sure, that's fine. Like, okay.
So like not having you fucking fight him would be like you're not getting one portion of the entire DLC, I would assume, right?
I mean, so I can go down the route, which I'm going to inflame the shit out of people by saying, why the fuck write your DLC based off an optional fucking boss that only like, it's not like we're the only people that all of a sudden discovered we had 37% of the people hadn't done it. You have the data knowing that 37% of people are the only people that did it. That 64% of the
what does the 37% of the population doing it have to do with anything?
Why would you?
I'm pretty sure the DLC's story was already planned, like when Elden Ring came out, because the access to the DLC was something that has been there since launch. Like the thing that you're going to interact with to access the DLC has been there since launch.
Let me ask this, so that because this is going to circle to this. When you
we might get into spoiler territory here, guys, so just bear with us on that.
I've not played the DLC.
I meant like for DLC.
Okay.
So when you boot the game up, when you boot up Elden Ring and this DLC, or I guess Elden Ring, because you don't boot up the DLC, you just boot up Elden Ring. Is there a fucking portal or something that tells you go here to fight this person to get access to the game, to the DLC, to get to this place? Does that exist?
I do not know. I can boot it up right now and we can test it live if you want.
I don't think it does, because I was watching some streamers try it today, and I am almost 100% sure, could be wrong, right?
I mean, I don't figure it does either, because they've never had that be a thing.
Like all of this stuff of being like, you again, I'm fine with it if you want to make it this fucking optional boss, right? I'm not gonna tell you rewrite your fucking story if you've already had it. Like you're saying, oh cool, it was pre-planned. All right, cool. You've already had the pre-planned fucking story of how you want to do it, right? Then give people an easier way to get to that boss, to say, hey, by the way, big flashing fucking letters, big right now, because if it wasn't for the internet, if it wasn't for people finding this out, right? And
they would have to play the game. Oh my god! It's
not that they would have to play the game.
You're gonna make me play the game in order to get to the DLC?
64% wouldn't know what to do. That's what I'm saying. 64% of the people wouldn't know what to do.
They announced it at press conferences.
So
and
all
of that.
What happens again if someone doesn't follow the press conference?
This has been knowledge on how to access the DLC since the 11th of this month.
Right, but what? So okay, they wait till 9 days before the game comes out to tell you that, hey, the 64% of you that have not beaten these bosses that need to do this, you're not going to be able to play the DLC 9 days before the game comes out.
No, they're releasing a statement 9 days before the game comes out. Hey, the 64% of you that haven't completed this achievement, take the next 6 days and play the game so you can fucking play the Elden Ring DLC.
That is a fucked up way of doing it. Like, that's a fucked up way to tell people that, like, hey,
what?
If you want to, like, guess what? 100%. I'm telling you right now, if this game if I would have
World of Warcraft, when they bring an expansion out on the PTR, they give people the requirements that they're going to need for the next expansion. They say, hey, by the way, you're going to need to get to level 90. Hey, by the way, you're probably going to want to do this achievement. Hey, by the way, you're probably going to want to do this achievement. They shouldn't be doing that. They should just be like, hey, you should just let. Well, and granted, I will state that World of Warcraft gives you the ability just to pay money, and you're all instantly in the fucking.
They don't lock you, but they tell you got to get to a certain. You have to get to a certain level that unlocks the quest line, and boom, right, big ass fucking letters, right? There's your quest line. Go do this, go do that. Here you go, right? Like, and again, I'm not saying that Elden Ring should fucking hold your hand. I'm just saying that I think that people are so encapsulated in this game and in the fandom of what this is to sit down and go, all right, hold on 1 second. 64% of my player base hasn't done this stuff. If these people did not follow, like, sit there and follow, and again, I know it's crazy to say, but didn't look on their phone, doesn't go to gaming sites, don't listen to our podcast, don't fucking do this stuff, right? And they just play Elden Ring because they like Elden Ring, right? They're not going to fucking know why they can't get into the DLC. And this isn't a hypothetical. I know fucking people that this happened to, and they returned the fucking game. They've dumped 200 fucking hours into Elden Ring, but they couldn't access the DLC. Call them a dumbass. I don't give a shit if that's what you want to do, because I've gotten called a dumbass in chat by a bunch of these people, and I'm okay with it. But call them a dumbass. They returned the fucking game. They spent 200 hours.
That's the prerogative.
That's entirely up to them. Yeah.
But why? What I don't understand is, why is it so such a flawed logic to sit here and go, maybe, just maybe, this wasn't right?
I also don't think it's an Elden Ring. Again, this isn't just a specific Elden Ring issue. This has been, at least with From Software games, it's been their philosophy for all of their DLCs to have access either be press released or figured out by players. Like, hell, the Bloodborne DLC, you had to go to a random enemy in the game that is invisible and let it kill you to access the DLC.
That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
But this is the first time we're having an issue with it because it's Elden Ring.
I didn't know that. I didn't. I mean, this is the first. Yeah, because this is the first time that I knowing that now. Like, yeah, that's fucking insane. I don't understand why. From now, I thought Bill was frozen. I was like, what the hell is going on?
No.
I don't know why this is an acceptable thing. Like that just to me is ridiculous to think that. And again, I'll tell you another person. I have not beaten any of those bosses. And prior to this, right, I was going to buy the game. Like, I was ready to fucking purchase it. Like, I literally had it, was going to have it in my cart, was going to play the game, whatever else. Finding this out, I don't want to play it. And yeah, go ahead and flame me in the chats and being like, well, you're not even man enough, or you're not good enough, or whatever else. You fucking play the DLC. I'm repeating what was in chat. I'm just repeating, not chat here. And in some of the comments, right, being like, oh, if you can't do it, you're not good enough, whatever else. I'm just responding to saying like, hey, like, call it what it is, but that's still $40 that your company that you guys did not get, because I'm not going to pay for it. And yeah, I got a free key because of my work, right? But I was willing to pay for that, and I'm not going to, because I think it's bullshit. Like, that's crazy to me. I know other people that have refunded the game because of that. Like, so my logic may be flawed in your eyes, but in my eyes and some other people's, it's not. Like, that's the joys of the internet. You guys can do what you want and believe what you want, and so can I. I just think it's crazy to me. That makes sense.
All right, man.
You do you, bro.
Yeah, I don't know.
I really don't know what to tell you at this point, man.
The whole argument at this point, it feels like just I don't know.
The thing is like, I really didn't and I'm take this as nicely as possible. I'm not trying to be an asshole. I really don't see you going through Elden Ring, the entirety of Elden Ring, just to play that DLC either way, regardless if it was an optional boss.
I mean, that's fine. You also didn't think I was going to enjoy Star Citizen, but I am. Right? Like, I mean, I'm just stating the fact that you've had how long now to play Elden Ring? You're right.
I really didn't see you playing Elden Ring that much.
But
like,
also,
I really
just
don't,
like other people in the comments too that have said, like, hey, like, I played Elden Ring, like, I had fun with it or whatever else.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
I mean,
I stopped playing
there's
it.
People out there that have not enjoyed Elden Ring.
Like, no, I'm not saying they didn't enjoy it. Like, they enjoyed it, they left it, they came back to it, and then they just were like, I don't want to do this. Like, I don't want to have to do this to kind of, get back into it. Like,
entirely within your prerogative.
So it's just I don't know. And It really, and it wasn't because I rage quit because I couldn't do anything. I just stopped playing it because I was like, okay, there's other things out that I want to play.
I
right.
never said that it was. I was just stating the fact that like the fact of the matter is I really don't see you playing Elden Ring enough to get into the DLC. So it would have been a terrible purchase.
You're trying to go me into playing the damn the game so I play the DLC. I know what you're trying to do.
You caught me.
You're from software. Mind tricks can't affect me.
I will say that as of right now, the DLC, and again, I'm not trying to invalidate you. I'm just going off of community opinion right now.
Overwhelmingly positive reviews.
It is very positive right now with
the
very
Steam
positive views. Very positive.
So it's
at a 94%.
How many reviews are on there?
Almost 3,000.
Because it was overwhelmingly positive with just under 1,000 reviews. A couple hours.
So, and I've been going through the negative reviews and stuff, and the negative reviews seem to be either people that didn't enjoy the base game and were hoping that they would fix some of the mechanics from the base game, which they didn't. And there are some issues with its optimization as far as the DLC areas. I guess it's got a stutter right now. So the only thing that I've seen as far as DLC access goes is people saying that they have completed both optional bosses and are not able to access the DLC for whatever reason. So
interesting.
That is the only thing access-wise that I am seeing on the negatives. I have yet to see one person down thumb it because they didn't know where to go and how to access the DLC. This very well just may be a first world problem with this kind of thing. I genuinely don't see it being an issue. That being said, I have had issues with this design philosophy in other games, so I am a little bit biased with this particular game. Remnant 2, for instance, there are a ton of things in that game that are so goddamn obscure that if you didn't look them up, you would never know how to access them. Added on top of the RNG element of that game, it was frustrating for me. So I get that. There is no RNG involved in this. And if you enjoyed Elden Ring for what it was, you've probably already looked up all like the things you missed because there is a ton of stuff that you potentially missed. So
right.
I'm thinking for the people that are most likely going to buy this DLC, this is a non-issue.
I mean, I'm happy for you. I hope the DLC is great. I hope you love it. I'm not ill-willing the DLC. I'm not saying that the DLC itself, content-wise, is bad or that Elden Ring is bad. I will state, like, I don't like the nature of going and saying that, oh, that it wasn't because I am disagreeing with something, and it's not you guys, you know, and here, like Bill or Enigma, but by saying like, oh, because I am disagreeing with your game, that it's not my type of game. I dumped 60 plus hours and enjoyed every moment of my time with Elden Ring, right? It's not because I couldn't beat it or I'm not good enough to beat it or I don't like the game. I don't like that practice. I don't think that that is a good practice to have in a DLC, right? Like, so it's not that I don't like the game or whatever else. It's just, I don't like the practice of it. And I don't want to support that. And that's my choice, just like it's your choice to play it. I am interested in how many of those 70, or I guess now it's 60%, you said 40% have beaten it. How many of those 60% of the people that purchased Elden Ring actually purchase a DLC? I'd like to know those numbers, because that's what's going to be telling to me, is to see how many of those people that purchased it actually are not able to play it. Because to say that all 70% or 60% of the people are not going to be able to play it is not true. Like, that's not factual, right? Because not everybody that bought the game is going to buy the DLC.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I wanted to have this point. I wanted to have this moment. We had the moment. I appreciate you. Thank you for placating me, and we can move on.
I got you, bud.
So
I don't think you've actually been placated at all.
I have in my mind. In my mind, I have. I love all the negative comments or whatever else. I have said it in the very beginning. I know what my point is on this show, and I play the villain. I know the villain role, and I'm happy to be the villain if so be it, and I need to be. All right. Well, let's talk about something that we possibly can't be the villain with, which is doesn't want to give me the article. Cool. Hold on one sec. It is the Nintendo Direct that happened over like yesterday, right? I think didn't it just showed up yesterday, if I'm not mistaken.
Yesterday
It was
or the day
on
before.
the 18th was the Nintendo Direct, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. So they announced quite a bit. We're getting this from Tech Raptor. By the way, actually, I want to see if this shows up a little bit better. I think I like this one a little bit better, so you guys can get a little bit bigger view. So they announced quite a bit of stuff. Was there anything in here that you guys saw that were like really, really, really excited about?
All of it.
All of it? Yeah, really?
I thought it was a really good showcase.
Yeah,
I was extremely impressed with it. Let me get the direct.
I thought Mio, and I think you'll be really interested in Mio. The Sin. I thought Mio Memories in Orbit looked really fucking good.
Yeah. But
it's very Ari style, or not Ari. Yeah, Ari. Very
like
interesting.
Ori, yeah.
Yeah, Ori. That was it. Yeah, like very Ori-esque. Very. I like the art style. I liked the character. I don't think we saw any gameplay, if I'm not mistaken, but I like the general aesthetics and like the overall feel to the game looked really cool. To me, at least.
Yeah.
I
mean, so a lot of the internet is happy with a lot of stuff. Like I saw, like again, they announced a new Mario game. We got, Marvel vs. Capcom, classic,
I think we got a new Zelda game too, didn't we?
New Zelda game.
We got a new Zelda game coming out.
New Metroid Prime 4, right?
Metroid Prime 4.
Yep, we got that.
Which has been years. It's wild that Metroid Prime 4 came out before Silk Song.
Yeah. Well, that's there you go. That's what I wanted to say. Where the internet is a little bit more abuzz right now is we didn't get anything on Silk Song. It's been a hot minute since Silk Song. And I almost kind of like, dude, this game here, like, you're right. I would love to play this game.
We did get gameplay. We did get gameplay. I forgot about that, yeah.
But seeing this, I'm like, motherfucker, like, I am also waiting for Hollow Knight Silk Song. And I'm like, this is a slap in the face, bro. Like, I'm sure, don't get me wrong, I'm sure Mio, Memories in Orbit is a great fucking game, but this feels and looks a lot like what I want Silk Song. Like, just give me Hollow Knight Silk Song.
Oh, I think isn't it? It's two different. It's two different developers, right?
It is.
Yeah. No. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying
it heavily resembles.
It looks a
lot.
Like,
no, I agree. Yeah.
But yeah, the new Zelda game, Zelda's going to be your lead in this one, which is nifty. Right. And it's
hot take, man.
It's a weird one, man.
Yeah, I was about to say I really didn't like the Zelda, the way the direction they took it, man. I am not a fan. I am not a fan, and maybe it's just that we didn't get a lot from it. I don't think we got any gameplay, did we? No, we did get a little bit of gameplay. Yeah.
We got a lot of gameplay, man. Actually. It's interesting. So they're taking the what was the remake that they did recently?
Wind Waker?
No, it was the top-down remake. Remember.
Yeah.
But they took that and they're basically asset flipping.
Four Swords?
But they're asset flipping the stuff from that game into a new game in the same format. And it's got like
Echoes of Wisdom. Was that
is what the new game is? Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's taking like elements of like it's a lot of puzzle solving from the looks of it, because she's got this staff that she can make replicas of things, right? And that is both inanimate objects and creatures. It doesn't look like she can attack herself. Like she can actually do like attacking on her own. So it's a bunch of puzzle solving, finding like the proper things that you need to replicate to be able to circumvent the level and stuff. Because I saw like them like stacking tables on top of each other to climb up a hillside and whatnot. And then it's also got like almost a monster hunt, like monster collector style gameplay loop with it, where you're copying enemy creatures and then creating new ones to have them go fight enemies for you and stuff. It's a really interesting concept.
Is it like a Pokemon-esque style, or is it?
No, you don't. Is it more like you summon it and it goes and does its thing.
It just does its own thing. Okay.
Yeah. So it's definitely a more simplified. This isn't going to be like your Tears of the Kingdom. This isn't going to be like that. But if you're a fan of top-down Zeldas, they've always been very puzzle heavy. I think this is really going to lean into that puzzle heavy aspect of it, and I think there's a niche for that people are really going to dig this one. This kind of with like, I think this is like the sister game almost to that that Princess Peach game that they put out not too long ago. It feels very in a similar vein, but like in its own like Zelda way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not just because they're
Is
female
there
characters
any
or the
combat
leads.
in this? Like, do we have
Yeah,
combat?
there is combat. Just, I don't think, like I said, I don't think she attacks, but you summon enemies to fight in your stead. They're about to show that here. So this is
throw
why
a rock at somebody.
Oh yeah, you can throw rocks. I guess there is combat in a way.
Weird.
Yeah,
I'm
she
sure
like
that'll
summons.
expand.
She like summons those goblin dudes or whatever they are, and
Yep, there
they
you
attack
go.
for her.
So
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah,
it doesn't like it reminds me more of like a Mario game than a Zelda game, if I'm being completely real. Like it looks more like a Mario game to me than a Zelda game, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, I suppose.
no. I think it's gonna have a niche player base. Like I said, this isn't gonna be your
100%.
next.
This will not be
Breath of
the next
Wild where everybody
Windwalker or
plays.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's a fun game. I think it has potential, and I'm glad
Definitely
to
a
see
Switch
that
game
they're
for sure.
Yeah, I'm glad to see that they're taking some creative risks like they do with the Mario
For
games.
sure, yeah.
Because they usually succeed very much in those. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Mario and Luigi, that's the one I'm most excited about out of this whole
It
thing.
did look pretty dope, yeah.
The Mario and Luigi RPGs were some of my favorites. Superstar Saga, probably my favorite mobile like handheld video game ever.
I also like the graphics. I like the graphics on this new one as well. Just from the little bit of video that we had, I think it looks more like an anime than anything. Like,
yeah, it's got an interesting graphic style to it. But if you've never played the Mario and Luigi games like Superstar Sagas or Partners in Time or anything like that, they are phenomenal. Yeah, so I'm really excited to see how they do this one.
This is action based. This is not turn based, right?
It is turn based.
Oh, it is nice. Okay, yeah, that's because
no, it is a full RPG, and it kind of you ever play I should have thought of this ahead of time. It's got the RPG elements where you're like to do your combos properly. There are button prompts and quick time events within your attacks to increase the damage, or if you whiff on something, it fumbles the attack.
Well, Mario RPG had like the regular.
Yeah, but this is like very in depth with how like the super moves and stuff, like the duo attacks, that kind of thing.
No, we just saw one with the hammer. Looked like
that's cool. No, I mean I like it. I mean, dude, Mario RPG is actually a lot of people don't play it because it's Mario and they're like Mario RPG, dude, it's a phenomenal RPG. Like,
yeah,
it is a.
These take the Mario RPG mechanics and turn them up to 11. Yeah. They're phenomenal games, and I'm really
I didn't get to see any of this, so I'm experiencing it for the first time.
No, it's gonna be great. I have very high hopes for this one.
I will say that like big show out for Nintendo on this one. I was not expecting this many announcements from them as well. Like I think they did a really good job with it.
Do you also think that it's a little shocker that we didn't get anything Switch 2 related? Like nothing. Like we got zilch.
I think the Switch 2 stuff's been heavy rumors and nothing else. I don't think there's any substance to it, and this just kind of goes and proves that there's not really any substance to it. So
nobody excited about Mario Party Jamboree?
I fucking hate Mario Party. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. That is like one of my least favorite franchises of all time is the Mario Party franchise, and I have a very specific reason for hating it, and it's an asshole-ish reason. I hate that the game caters to the fucking loser.
Okay, can the internet flame Bill this time?
Like, I understand it's a kid game. I understand that they're wanting little Jimmy to have a good time with the family.
How dare they cater the child?
He's not nearly as good at video games as what I would be, but he needs to have a life lesson that video games aren't fair. He needs to learn to take an L, okay?
Man, go back to your fucking Souls. Like, let us like have a little bit of fun with this game.
There's no fun in losing when you do everything perfect. You played an amazing game. You had those mini games down perfect. Your dice rolls, you had the RNG on your side. Everything worked out. And then in the very end, they give Lil Jimmy 3 fucking stars for walking the least, losing the most mini games, and participating.
I feel like this
Mario Party, dude.
I feel like this is very like very raw. Like, who hurt you, Bill? Like,
Mario
which
did.
which one of
Mario.
your nephews or niece hurt you in this way?
Oh man,
I really don't like Mario
shit.
Party. Real talk though. This is all real.
That's
I am
fucking
dude,
hilarious.
me and my family have had some of the best family nights playing Mario Party, you know, together and having a good time and whatever else. So I mean, I'm excited. I'm also excited about that it has internet access. You know, even though I can't even tell you the last time I even fucking turned on my Switch to play something, you know, or online related. But I don't know. I mean, you know,
For the people that like Mario Party, I'm happy for you though.
Yeah.
I understand that these games are extremely popular. And I think the thing that upsets me the most is I genuinely have a ton of fun with the mini games. Like they get really creative
They are
with
really
a
good
lot of the
mini
mini games. I just hate fucking being cheated.
God dang.
Uh,
Metroid Prime 4, was this a good showing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. It's Metroid Prime. Like, of course.
I mean, people have been wanting their first-person shooter Metroid back for a very long time. And again, it surprises me we got this before we got Silk Song.
Is this gonna is this in the mature fucking section for Nintendo? Did you guys see that?
I mean,
was
yeah.
it? I didn't see that.
No, it's gonna be T for teen.
No,
just like all the other.
I'm making a joke, a stab, because Nintendo is a
Baby
platform for. I didn't say that. Nintendo is a platform for. I've inflamed enough people already for kids. No,
Sid's keeping his nose clean, bro. Recently,
Nintendo is a platform that is notoriously not heavy on mature titles, and they launched.
Unless it's hentai games.
Are there a lot of hentai games on?
There's a ton of hentai games on the. It's in the.
How do you know, Bill?
Because I own a Switch and I go to the marketplace, and if you go into the fucking like sort cheapest to most expensive, the cheap section is flooded.
Enigma.
I have to check this out. I have to check this out.
Pay attention up here. You got a show to finish, fucker.
Anyway, continue.
Because they made they brought back Perfect Dark multiplayer. They brought back Turok, and they put it under a mature fucking title.
That guy right there, the dude that came up. People have been wanting him as the main protagonist since Metroid Prime Hunters on the DS, and by people I mean me. He's so cool. Silux, he's a fucking badass dude. And they teased him in Metroid Prime Hunters, like because at the end of that game you fly off in your ship and stuff, and then his ship kind of sneaks up into the frame and then zips after you. So I'm glad they're making good on it.
So all of these are coming
out. Man. I think it looks really good, man. I think it's a good showing for them, especially when for a platform that's not really known for like shooters too. I think it looks pretty competent, honestly.
Well, again, I mean they like I said, but they've they relaunched Turok 2 or Turok. They launched the multiplayer for Perfect Dark. They're bringing in some of that shooter stuff. I wonder it's making me wonder, like, what are they setting up for the Switch 2? And I do wonder, because they did say, like, I'm pretty sure Switch 2 is like, I thought Nintendo said they were talking about, like, you wouldn't see
never
it
been confirmed by Nintendo.
Yeah, they've never said anything. That was all rumors. Yeah,
they have given a date, like they have said that it's a ways out, but I don't think Nintendo has ever actually.
I don't think they ever gave a solid date, did they? Nintendo's
they've never given a date.
Yeah.
No.
I don't even think they've given a year. All those 2025 were just rumors. It was all, nothing's been confirmed ever. So
all right.
This one looked good. I also really I was kind of one of the ones that I wanted to point out was which one was it? Where was it? It was the oh fuck. Not Dragon's Quest. Dragon's Quest looked really good. Farmagia. Did you see that?
No. I saw it on here. I did not see what
Farmagia. So this reminds me, so you know how people were giving Pal World so much shit? They were just like, how dare you fucking even come close to Pokemon, you pieces of shit. How dare you? And shit like that. Like, I get it. This is Nintendo, but this is literally Stardew Valley with Pokemon. Like
well, I mean, to be fair, the
very
whatever,
close.
Whatever you call these things in here, the monsters, they're not like almost direct rips of fucking Pokemon.
No, I'm not saying that they're not, but I'm just saying like the amount of people that are like, how dare you try and rip off Pokemon, and then Nintendo does it to themselves. Like, it just cracks me up, man. I don't know. This did look really cool though.
Monsters?
Yeah.
Did a fox just jump out of that fucking
you
corn?
grow them out of corn and shit.
Huh.
I thought it looked kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it looked interesting. I was like, this looks pretty fucking cool. Like you can like grow like a small army and just take on like bigger monsters and shit. But yeah, it just cracked me up because I just remember back, going back when Power World first released and everybody was like, how dare you fucking even come close to Pokemon, you gigantic piece of shit. Oh, I can't even take. And now Pokemon's doing this, sullying the fucking sullying Pokemon like crazy. But yeah, I thought it looked pretty cool.
What is this? Fantasian Neo Dimension? Was this just like
an Square Enix game?
Yeah,
it's a weird one. It's a weird one. I almost thought it was like some Nier spin-off game because the main character looks like very Nier.
Yeah.
But it's just Square Enix doing Square Enix things. I'm hoping that it's good.
I'm assuming
this is a top-down one, right? This is a top-down one, right? Yeah.
I believe
I think
so.
It is turn-based. Yes, it is.
Yeah. So has potential. New franchise and stuff like that. Maybe this will be something that kind of goes along with.
Yeah, you should get combat later on. Right there.
There it is. Yeah.
Dude, I'm a sucker for turn-based combat, man.
It looks good. It looks really good, and I think it's going to appeal to people more so graphically than what like Octopath did. I think Octopath's graphic style, while being a boon to some, was a hindrance to others. I also like how it's almost like one of those like arcade like ball shooter games where you like aim your attacks on like an arch and stuff.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah, no, I'm that's cool. I hope it comes out to.
But I thought it was. I could have sworn it was a Nier game at first.
Yeah. I hope it's a PC. Comes out on PC. That's but I don't know. They don't really. Well, Square does. Nintendo doesn't. Nintendo doesn't bring their games to PC. But Square.
I think they also didn't they announce Funko Fusion?
Well, they didn't. They showed more. Yeah, they said it's coming to Switch.
Yeah.
So, there. All right. Well, there is
new Ace Attorney if you like the Ace Attorney games.
Yeah. Okay, we'll put that there. That's gonna be for quick hits. Hey, you know what? We talked a lot about Elden Rings and From Software. How about we talk about the people that remade Demon Souls. Not Dark Souls, Demon Souls. Good old Blue Point Games came out and said, hey, listen, I know that there's a lot of closures happening and shit's getting shut down and you haven't heard from us in a little bit, but we are working on our next game. And this is actually it's an original title. It's not Bloodborne. So,
which is good. I think Blue Point needs to flex their chops on something original. I think this will be a good showcase on what Sony is wanting to do with this company. Because initially, whenever they got purchased up, it seemed like they were going to put Blue Point in charge of like basically be their remake generator, which has not been the case with the amount of remakes that we've seen out of Sony, and only one of them has been a Blue Point game. So I'm curious to see what an original game by Blue Point looks like, because they're very talented in what they do. I will give them that, but I don't know if we haven't seen at least the talent of them to build something from the ground up.
What was the other game other than Demon Souls that they remade? Did they remake something else?
Not since the acquisition, but they have they're primarily a remake studio. They did the Shadow of the Colossus remake. Oh. They did Metal Gear 2 and 3 remakes.
Yeah.
Okay. I think they did the God of War collection for the PS3. So remakes and remasters is their bag, baby.
Okay. We say this every time, but do you think we're ever gonna get it? Do you think, or not? Maybe not ever. Do you think we're gonna get it this console generation?
No. No.
You don't think so?
No. If we do get it, it's going to be a launch title with the PS5 Pro. Since it hasn't been announced yet, and the PS5 Pro has, don't think it's coming.
Wait, then when did they announce the PS5 Pro?
Bloodborne.
Oh, I was like, what are we talking about? This
They fully announced the PS5 Pro?
I thought they did.
I thought that was all still rumored.
Was that all rumor too?
Yeah, I don't think that they actually confirmed like launch price, any of that kind of stuff.
Okay, no, it's all been analytic reporting. You're right.
Speculation.
Yeah, I think once that comes out, if Bloodborne is not paired with it, then we won't see it until PS6, if we see it. And that could also just be wishful thinking. So,
do you want it?
I know Miyazaki wants it.
Yeah, but
he went in open interview saying that he. Do I want it personally? I want it to come to PC. I could give a shit less about a remake for console.
He's already played it.
Yeah, I've already played it. The only thing, and the reason I think it is coming at some point is because they never did a PS5 performance upgrade with it like they did a conglomerate of the big PS4 titles. And it's 30 at best frame rate is the only downside with that version of the game.
Mm-hmm.
It does run better on a PS5, but it still doesn't hold a stable 30. So,
yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, trust me, I want it. I mean,
I want it. I want it because I want to see what the modding community can do with pure Bloodborne assets in the PC frame. I know they've been able to rip some of the assets out of the PS5, but like having pure access to that stuff, I want to see what they can do with it.
Do you think that, okay, minus Elden Ring, do you think that Bloodborne, because it seems like Bloodborne just has this title of like one of, if not the best Souls experiences out. Like why do you think it's fever frenzied over so much?
For me personally, I think it is the most fun to play. I think mechanically, it has the tightest. Well, aside from Sekiro, if you take Sekiro out of the equation, I think gameplay wise, Bloodborne is the coup de grace. I think the tone of the game is perfect. I think the level design, outside of it not having the interconnectivity that Dark Souls 1 has, I think it has some of the best level design. And I think the bosses that, like some of the bosses that are the high points of the game, are some of the best bosses that From Software has ever made.
Okay.
That being said, I think honestly, its boss design is probably the weakest part of Bloodborne, as blasphemous as that might be to say.
How dare you?
I think its highs are held really high because the top quality of bosses in that game are absolutely exceptional. But there is a ton of shitter bosses in Bloodborne. So
can't win them all, man.
You can't win them all. But if I had to throw a reason out there, I think it's because of tone, fun to play, and yeah, I think it does what it does exceptionally well, and it overshadows the flaws that the game has, like the frame rate and stuff like that.
I mean, it's just it's because every time I see something, whether it's Blue Point, whether it's Remake, whether it's From Software, Souls, like it is. It's not only Bloodborne, but it's also Bloodborne 2. And I mean, yeah, I played Bloodborne. I beat Bloodborne. Loved it every moment of it. Fucking in-game plus Bloodborne multiple times. Loved the fucking every moment of it. So
I think
did you love the optional bosses though?
No.
I mean that game is like 60% optional bosses.
Yeah. No, I mean I 100 like went through everything I possibly could. Like ate every piece of content up for that game. So no. Okay. All right. Well, on the
that makes a lot of sense.
Wait, what?
It makes a lot of sense.
What?
Because
you want to ring the fucking bell again?
No, I'm just thinking. Let me.
What you got for me,
quickly. Bill? Think quickly. We're counting now, boys.
It doesn't actually make sense now because we talked earlier. Did you play the DLC, right?
Played what DLC?
Bloodborne's DLC, or did
Yeah.
you not? You just did the
No,
basic.
no, I played the
You,
DLC.
you didn't find getting sucked up by the amygdala being a super fucking obscure way to get into the DLC?
I don't remember. I don't remember. I don't remember what it was like. No. Take your back.
Caught
I
in
don't-
4K, boys.
I actually do. I think I had to Google how to get into it or whatever else.
Yes.
And figure out how to get into the DLC.
Yes.
At that point, you know, do I can I
what everybody else is gonna have to do for the Elden Ring DLC?
yeah, it's fucking okay. It's fucking stupid. I'm not sitting here saying like, oh, that was okay.
But
I was
okay with
fine.
Bloodborne, but
It
not
was
for you
okay.
to
I-
100%.
was
I'm
okay
not-
with Bloodborne,
no,
yeah.
I'm telling you, it's fucking stupid. I'm just saying that I did everything I could in Bloodborne and enjoyed Bloodborne. I never said that Elden Ring was fucking bad. Jesus Christ! Like, I'm just saying.
Okay,
like,
we can move on.
God damn it.
Uh,
All right. Well, just like us, because of lack of time, Sony is skipping out Gamescom, but Xbox is confirming going to Gamescom. So
Good for them. I don't know what else
Yeah.
they have to show outside of the like. They had
Oh,
a
they-
pretty decently
have a-
strong showcase. So
they have a list of everything they're showing. I think it's they're just a few of the expected to see: Age of Mythology, Retold, Avowed, Ara, History Untold, Diablo 4 Vessel of Hatred, Diablo Immortal, Elder Scrolls Online, Fallout 76, Towerborn, and World of Warcraft: The War Within.
so
Yeah,
everything
they're-
we've already
they're
got.
bringing-
And more to come. So
um,
everything they've already showed, but
they're bringing Immortal to Gamescom with more
yeah,
content. Good
that's
lord.
that's not a great look, to be completely
No,
honest.
that's they don't even have Diablo 4 working the best. It's basically where it should have launched. It's better, but it's where it should have launched at.
I mean, I'm
But-
excited for the DLC for.
I
for
honestly forgot about Diablo Immortal until this very moment, and that
So did half
literally,
of everybody
like,
else.
it
I don't know,
gagged
man. That,
me to
that
hear
still
name.
makes them some fucking money, dude. People are still dumping money
Yeah,
into that game
because
left
they
and
have
right.
people, they have whales that fucking dump money left and right into it. Of course, it's gonna make money. It's a fucking mobile
I don't
game.
know.
Like,
I am actually surprised that Sony's not going to Gamescom. I thought that they would have.
So am I.
They would have.
Sony don't give a fuck.
To go there. So, but they are.
Sony don't give a
absolutely
fuck.
skipping.
What
I mean-
do they have to show? Nothing's coming out this year.
yeah, it's what I was supposed to say. I mean, really, they don't really have. I understand why they're not going. Like, they really, like their show up on their whatever it was, the PS5, the PlayStation State of Play. I felt was a little weak.
Dude, I
in
don't
the
know,
first
man.
place.
I was
like,
excited.
why-
I like the state of
why
play.
did we
dude.
even
I,
need to
I
see that,
enjoyed the
but-
state of play as well, and also Sony does it differently than the others do. They don't do one big showcase. They have it split over
Yeah.
3 different showcases. So they're weird. I don't think Sony's ever going to do a third party showcase ever again.
Well, I mean, Nintendo doesn't really do them anymore. Like, I don't. Is Nintendo going to Gamescom? Because they
I
just do
don't know.
directs. They do directs and tree houses. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
I mean,
Real
it's
cool, yeah.
you know. So, yeah. All right. Well, on the PlayStation news as well. Good old David Jaffe.
Jaffe?
Yeah, whatever you want to pronounce his name.
Nintendo is skipping Gamescom.
Yeah, that figures. Said, yo, PlayStation, you need to complete, or you need, here's how you compete, right? Is by Ubisoft.
Yeah, David Jaffe's got some weird fucking takes, man.
Isn't Jaffe or Yaffe or however the fuck you pronounce it? Isn't that the God of War guy?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
OG God of War guy, and
Yeah, that's what I thought.
he's super salty about what they did with Kratos in the modern games. So that was the last thing I heard about him, was him like super raging about Ragnarok and how they ruined his character and stuff like that.
I mean, it is his character.
It is his character. I
He
can't be mad
sold it.
about
I will state that. Like, if you can't complain about it if you sell it, but
Yeah. That being said, he was gushing about the Ubisoft
Of course he
showcase.
was.
Why?
Of course he was.
He was a really big fan of it, and then him kind of capping off that whole thing was saying that if Sony really wants to put a linchpin in things, this is how you do it.
Put a linchpin in what?
I don't
You're
see it,
crazy.
man.
You're crazy. First off,
Like,
what,
yeah, it'd
what
be
are you
it'd be a
super-
huge. Good.
What are you super fucking proud about with the Ubisoft Forward? It was nothing like, yeah, Assassin's Creed looked great. Can somebody else name something else that we got? Can anybody name anything else that came out of fucking Ubisoft Forward other than Assassin's Creed?
Listen, all I really care about Ubisoft wise these days is X Defiant and Rainbow Six Siege.
Right? So
And the X Defiant update is looking to be really good.
And before you guys jump down my throat, fucking okay, Star Wars Outlaws.
Yeah, I still stick by what you just said. I don't name me any other thing that looked good.
That's it. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You're so excited about it.
I don't know, man. Like PlayStation, yeah, it would be a good purchase because obviously they would have the year after year Assassin's Creed releases, right? Like you would have, but I don't think they have enough. I don't think they have enough capital to purchase Ubisoft. Like
I hope it stays that way.
I do too. I do too.
I don't want to see any more major acquisitions,
you know what?
man. I'm so sick and tired.
I'm kind of with you.
I'm tired of this conversation even being brought up by a fucking big wig in the like. Don't put that evil out in the world, man.
Don't you put that evil on me, David Yappy.
So Ubisoft is a almost $3 billion company right now.
Yeah.
So I mean, Sony couldn't if they wanted to. They might be able to buy IPs off of them, but that would be about it.
$3 billion.
I don't know, man.
Crazy, man. Off a Rainbow. Holy shit.
And if anything, I would tell them to try and rework their purchase of fucking Bungie, man. Like I think that was a terrible purchase.
Yeah, I think they realize it too.
Yeah, I know that they do, dude.
I don't know, man. Final Shape's getting really good ratings and reviews. We'll see how that goes. All right, everybody. We are going to go through our quick hits here. And there's quite a bit of them. But one creator of Wizard with a Gun, Galvanic Studio, is shutting down. Wizard with a Gun, I don't remember.
That was one that just came out recently. It hasn't been out that long.
Okay.
If it even
it did look good.
Did it even actually make it
Wizard, out? I don't know if it did, honestly. It did. Yeah, it's out.
Yeah.
$24.99. It did look good. Like I won't lie. Like I thought it looked pretty good. It's kind of gives me that like a top down fucking what's the Hades. It kind of gives me a Hades vibe to it, but I don't know.
Yeah. We also got a release date and a beta date for Throne and Liberty. So the beta for that is July 18th, I think.
Yes,
and
18th.
the launch is September 21st, I believe. It's in September. So, I'm excited for it. I'm going to give it a try. I know it's probably extremely pay to win, but we will see on that one. Microsoft has shut down, or is starting to shut down as of July 29th, I think is what they said, is the shutdown for the Xbox 360 store and Marketplace. I didn't even know that Marketplace was still open.
R.I.P. the era.
Yeah, it's been open for a long time.
Yeah. That's that. I'll go ahead and say it. That's probably the high point in gaming for a lot of people.
Oh no, absolutely.
It was
that
for me,
era of gaming.
Yeah,
like
that was a great era.
Many people reminisce about the Xbox 360 days.
Xbox 360 and PlayStation 2, I think.
PlayStation
3.
PlayStation
2.
It was Xbox 360 was competing with PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 3. It went through.
That's what I thought. Yeah, they went through two generations.
Because you had Xbox and PS2 for the longest time, and then Xbox 360 launched first, and then the PlayStation 3 launched. But the problem is the PlayStation 3 went with a cell processor, and that caused a huge amount of issues, which kicked back.
I think the fact that the PS3 launched at $600 was
it was outrageous.
It was the most expensive console to date.
Yeah,
I just remember the Red Rings of Death and the mythology of like wrapping it in a towel and turning it on, and that would definitely fix your Red Rings of Death.
Dude, the crazy thing is that even through that, they still fucking destroyed sales numbers. Like sales numbers. I mean, Xbox.
I had two Xboxes, two Xboxes that Red Ring to death.
The 360 came out a full year before the PS3.
Yeah, and
those were the days, man.
Dude, honestly, I will stand here and say that I think that era of video game is the best era of video games. Like, hands down.
I would argue that 64 was my biggest, like my go-to era for video games. But Xbox 360 is definitely definitely right there behind it for sure.
I'm just saying, like, as especially like if you think mass, right? Like on mass, like PS2, like gaming then
No,
was
yeah.
very like
that was when gaming mainstreamed,
right,
essentially.
for
Like
sure.
prior to that, like if you were playing N64, if you were playing Nintendo, if you were playing PlayStation, you were not admitting it openly.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we also got YouTube coming out and saying that we're the best podcast ever because they're making it fact checking, and it's your fact checking feature that allows viewers to provide context on videos.
Man,
we're the
I
best
looked
podcast
into this a
ever.
little bit more. They are select rolling this out, and this is a test feature. So this very well
this
could be one of those
worries me,
features
man.
that comes out. They test it on a small scale, and then it disappears
Yeah.
forever. Like a lot
this
of other
worries
feature
me
tests.
just for the simple fact that like even like, and I know a lot of people rave and rant about the fact checking on Twitter and everything like that, but like even the fact checking on Twitter sometimes I'm just like, this is so fucking dumb, dude. Like like I don't know, man. And I'm also really worried about how they're going to do fact checking. Is it going to be based off of like peers, or is it going to are they actually going to have like fact checkers that go out and check these facts? How unbiased are those fact checkers going to be? Everything like that, because we
So
already
if
know
it-
that YouTube is not the best with biasisms when it comes to that kind of shit.
So if it's anything like what Twitter does, I'm pretty sure they get submitted user base, and then
by
there is a
community, yeah,
it's community submitted, and then there is a moderation team to trim the fat.
Oh, I'm
on
fucked then.
yeah.
I'm 100% fucked because all those people that just fucking cannot stand my take, I'm fucked. So that's bad.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how it handles and how they roll it out and everything like that. I'll save my my opinions for when it actually does, and we'll see how they handle it. So
There you
big
go.
if on that too.
Yeah,
You know
big
what's
if.
not an if? Banana game. It's not a scam. It's a real thing.
What is this? Like
You can click a banana and you get fucking you get pictures of a banana as a as like Steam gifts, and you can sell those gifts and make money for it. That is literally the game. Click the banana,
Okay.
the number goes up.
Yeah,
Cool.
it is
And pe-
also the did it break CS:GO?
It was like one of the most. I think it was. I don't know if but it was one of the, if not the most played game.
Yeah,
for Steam.
Yeah,
And you, you literally click a banana.
At its peak, it was 875,343 concurrent players, which is only 16,000 behind CS:GO.
You just click a banana. That's it. Click a banana. Go make some money, guys. Click bananas. Todd Howard shuts down any remake rumors for Fallout or Elder Scrolls getting a remaster or remake.
Yeah. Yep, he's pretty strong about Elder Scrolls 6 is and Starfield content is like in Fallout 4 or 76 content. So
yeah,
they're current projects, and then the next future project. There's no remake in sight.
See, if the fucking Fallout show wasn't so successful and you guys played Fallout 76, you would have gotten your remakes.
That's what I was about to say. I also think that recently I thought I saw something about him coming out and basically stating that they don't have any intentions of bringing out like a new Fallout game anytime soon because they feel like the TV show sates that urge for the player base or something like that. I'm like, what?
Hey man, bad takes all around.
Don't quote me on it. Don't quote me on it. I don't remember exactly the terminology or if that was a rumor or not. But like, yeah, if that's real, whatever, man. Todd Howard, get out of here, bro.
Embracer is shutting down the Alone in the Dark studio. So Embracer's, look,
another one that Embracer's shutting down, man.
I am not happy that Embracer is shutting down a studio, but I am happy that people are getting out from underneath Embracer. I don't like that it's this way, but I really cannot state enough how fucking terrible Embracer is as an organization,
as a parent company.
That's rough.
Fucking terrible. And then Miyazaki refuses to allow From Software employees to be laid off. So
yeah, this was in response to the Embracer Group shutdown of the Alone in the Dark studio. He was
pretty cool.
He because they are under the Embracer umbrella. I don't remember how much
are they.
I don't remember how much stock From Software has in like Embracer has in From Software, but I know they are under that.
Wow, that's crazy. I didn't know
umbrella.
There ain't nobody gonna let From Software go. Like as far as shut down, like Sony would buy it up. Somebody would buy that shit up in an instant.
Yeah.
But they're not gonna get shut. They may nope. Not gonna do that.
No, don't say it.
No,
Don't put it out there.
I'm not gonna step on that one.
Don't put it out there.
Yeah. So all right. Well, that's it. Episode 127.
We still got one right there.
Microsoft has started refunding people purchases for Redfall Premium Bite Back. All the 4 people that bought that game, you guys can get your refunds. Go make sure you get that. No, I'm just kidding. That is, I mean, hey,
that's good. That's a good thing for people that bought that, at least.
Yeah.
I mean, it sucks that they had to, but
I mean, yeah, Microsoft.
At least the people that bought it are not, out money now.
Slightly less dickish move. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, that's great. Like, I'm happy that you can reimburse it, but don't you have to? Isn't it only for a certain amount of time that you can?
I don't know. I would imagine as such.
You can get it. I don't think that it's. I'm trying to look through here. I don't think. Oh my God. Yes, accept all cookies. Jesus Christ. If you let me accept all bananas, I could make some money. Credit. Let me see. I don't know if it has a time on here. I don't see anything where it tells you a time. So there you go. So go back, go and see if you can get your
if you
your money back.
If you were dumb enough to purchase it, I'm sorry.
I mean, I don't want to say you're dumb enough, but I mean, I'm sorry for you if you did purchase it. And that
sucks. I'm glad that people are getting their money back at least, because that was not a very cool thing to do.
No, it was not. All right, guys, episode 127 done, wrap, over, kill it off. We're moving on to the next one. I promise you in episode 128, we will not be talking about Elden Ring. Actually, no, I take that back. We will fucking have to talk about Elden Ring DLC.
We'll have to talk about Elden Ring DLC, yeah.
Bill will be playing it.
You damn right.
All right, well, I guess
after I finish the things I need to do.
Wait. What
was that?
Fought the optional boss.
What was that? Did you just say?
I need to finish things.
What things do you have to finish?
Stellar Blade.
Oh, you fucker! You baited me, you ass. That's not true.
No, I also need to kill Moog in for my level 1 run, which is what I'll be playing Elden Ring's DLC.
Add on stream as level 1 because I hate myself.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, all right, chat. Y'all having a wonderful, wonderful evening. Everybody that's all our listeners, y'all have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Make sure you click that subscribe button, hit the bell, go over to Twitch, hit the follow button, go over there to our Discord, join up. Go to all of your podcasting apps and hit follow and add us to your listening profile. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Somebody cast a spell, because maybe next time we'll have all 4 of us here. If not, we'll see you on Thursday with 3 of us at 10:30 p.m. Eastern right here on YouTube and Twitch. We out.
Bye.
Latest.
I'm going to go not play Elden Ring. Installation.